There are moments in life when you feel set apart, moments when something deep within you says you're not like everyone else. You might look around, and while everyone else seems settled or content with where they are, you have this restlessness, a sense that you're called for something more, something greater. It can feel lonely, it can feel daunting, but let me tell you, that feeling is not a mistake. That feeling is a divine signal, a mark upon your life. Chosen people often carry a unique burden. They face battles no one else understands, struggles that seem relentless. But know this, the intensity of your trials is not a reflection of weakness, but of purpose. You're not facing these things because you're being punished. You're facing them because there is a strength in you, a potential that is being refined. Like a diamond under pressure, you're being shaped, you're being prepared for something monumental. It's not easy, but it's necessary. You may notice that others don't understand you. They may even criticize or question your path. They don't see what's inside you. They don't see what you've been entrusted with. But that's okay, because chosen people often walk alone. When you have been set apart, it means you're walking a unique path, a higher calling that not everyone can walk alongside you. Don't be discouraged by those who misunderstand. They don't know the vision God has placed in your heart. Have you ever noticed that you are dissatisfied with the ordinary, the routines, the status quo? None of it fulfills you. That dissatisfaction is a divine dissatisfaction, an indication that your destiny lies beyond the common. God has placed a seed of greatness in you, and nothing but the extraordinary will satisfy that seed. You can't settle because you're not meant to. You're called to higher things, and that calling will not allow you to rest in mediocrity. Chosen individuals are also marked by a deep empathy and compassion for others. You see the needs around you. You feel the pain of others as if it were your own. This empathy is no coincidence. It's a sign that you are meant to be a servant leader. You are called to lift others, to inspire, to heal. That compassion is your purpose speaking to you, guiding you toward the people you are meant to impact. Then there's the resistance. Oh yes, chosen people face resistance like no other. Every step forward is met with obstacles, with challenges that would make most people quit. But this resistance is also a sign. It's the world testing your resilience, testing your commitment to the path you've been called to walk. Every obstacle is a reminder that you're moving towards something powerful. The enemy doesn't bother with those who aren't a threat. Resistance only comes when you're on the verge of something monumental. You may find that deep down you have a vision, a dream that never leaves you, a fire that never goes out. This vision is your compass, a divine revelation pointing you in the direction of your destiny. It won't let you rest because it's pulling you toward your purpose. Even when you try to ignore it, even when you doubt yourself, that vision remains. And that's how you know it's from God. A vision from God is persistent, unwavering, and relentless. It stays with you because it is meant to guide you to your purpose. So if you find yourself in this place feeling misunderstood, facing resistance, driven by an inner calling, know that you are chosen. God has set you apart. He has refined you, and He has destined you for something extraordinary. There's a feeling deep within you that says you're different, a restlessness that won't let you settle, a quiet but powerful tug that pulls you towards something greater. This feeling is not random. It's not a phase or something you can shake off. It's a divine calling, a whisper from God that tells you there is more meant for you. While others may feel comfortable staying where they are, content with the familiar, you can't shake the urge to go further, to reach beyond what you see. You feel it when you wake up. You feel it in quiet moments when no one else is around. It's a yearning that goes beyond ambition. It's a deep spiritual awareness that you were meant to do something significant. This restlessness can sometimes feel like a burden. It's not easy to carry, especially when those around you don't feel the same pull, when they don't understand why you're not satisfied with the ordinary. But that's because they don't see what's within you. They don't understand the divine calling that stirs your spirit, that won't allow you to be satisfied with anything less than the extraordinary. This calling isn't just a feeling, it's a mark placed upon you, a reminder from God that you have been set apart. And while others may find peace in the ordinary, you've been chosen to pursue the extraordinary. That restlessness is the evidence. Sometimes it can be confusing. You may wonder why you can't just relax like everyone else, why you're not content with what seems to satisfy others. But this divine restlessness is God's way of stirring you, of keeping you on the path to something greater. It's a reminder that there is more inside you, a potential waiting to be unlocked, a purpose that hasn't yet fully revealed itself. This sense of being set apart might feel isolating at times, but remember, it's God's way of preparing you, of aligning you with a purpose that will one day reveal itself in ways you can't yet imagine. You were never meant to settle. This feeling inside you is a divine signal, a marker that God has placed to keep you moving forward, to ensure that you don't stop short of the purpose He has designed for you. So embrace that restlessness. It's not there to frustrate you. It's there to guide you, to remind you that you're chosen. You've faced battles that feel overwhelming, challenges that seem never ending, and trials that would break most people. It's easy to look around and wonder why your path seems filled with so much more resistance, why you seem to be tested more than others. But this intensity, this relentless pressure is not a sign of punishment. It's a sign of purpose. God is refining you, strengthening you, preparing you for something that requires resilience, endurance, and unshakable faith. When you are chosen, your challenges are not ordinary. You're not being shaped by minor inconveniences or momentary discomforts. You're being tested by circumstances that dig deep, that push you to your limits. Because to fulfill a great purpose, you must be made strong enough to carry it. Every trial, every obstacle is part of a divine refinement process. Imagine gold being purified in fire. Its value is revealed only after it's gone through intense heat. You too are being purified, refined by experiences that remove anything within you that could weaken your purpose. These struggles are designed to strip away doubt, fear, and anything that could cause you to question the power that's within you. God knows what He's placed in you, and He's committed to seeing that purpose through. He won't allow you to carry anything less than a strong, steadfast spirit, so He allows you to face battles that refine your character and deepen your faith. You may feel weary, even broken at times, but remember that God never gives His chosen ones more than they can bear. If you're facing it, it's because He knows you're capable of overcoming it. He's developing in you a resilience that others may never understand. He's allowing you to face storms, knowing that these storms are building within you the endurance and strength needed to fulfill your destiny. When chosen, your tests are preparation. Every time you face adversity and rise above it, you're building spiritual muscles, becoming the warrior you're meant to be. You're stepping closer to your calling. These trials, however difficult, are necessary. They're shaping you, making you worthy of the calling upon your life. They're equipping you with a strength, wisdom, and perspective that can only be forged in the fire of experience. People may look at you and see someone going through hardship, but they don't realize you're being trained. They don't see the purpose that's unfolding in the depths of your spirit. They don't understand that God is raising you up step by step, transforming you into someone who can carry a divine vision. Every struggle you endure, every battle you face is moving you closer to that purpose. It may not make sense now, and you may question why the road is so difficult, but trust that God sees the end from the beginning. He knows why each trial is essential. He knows that each hardship, each seemingly insurmountable mountain is preparing you for the great things He has planned. So stand firm, chosen one. Every battle is a sign of the greatness within you, a testament to the purpose that God Himself is cultivating. The strength you're gaining today will be the foundation of the victory you're destined to carry tomorrow. There are moments when, on this journey of being chosen, you look around and realize that not everyone is walking with you. You feel a distance even from those who were once close. People who used to understand you, who once shared in your dreams, seem to drift away or fail to comprehend the path you're on. This loneliness, this separation can be painful, but it is not an accident, nor is it a punishment. When you are chosen, God sets you apart because not everyone is meant to walk the same path or reach the same destination. There is a unique purpose over your life, a journey that only you are designed to fulfill, and sometimes that path requires walking alone. Being chosen means being misunderstood. Those around you might question your choices, your dreams, or even your faith. They may not see the vision that's been placed within you, and so they question why you seem different, why you can't simply conform to the patterns and routines that others embrace. but they don't know what you carry. They haven't been given the same vision, the same calling, so they can't see the bigger picture. What feels like isolation is actually a divine separation, God pulling you away from the distractions and limitations of what is common so he can prepare you for what is uncommon. This separation isn't to punish you, but to preserve you. When you are chosen, you are set apart for something extraordinary. God knows that you can't afford to be surrounded by influences or voices that would steer you away from the purpose he has for you. He places you in situations where you're forced to rely on him alone, where you have to dig deeper into the faith and strength that he has placed within you. This solitude becomes a sacred space where God can shape you, speak to you, and pour wisdom into your spirit, away from the noise and opinions of others. You may look around and see others surrounded by friends, enjoying connections and companionship, and you wonder why your journey feels so isolated. But remember, greatness often walks alone. Those with unique callings are often pulled away from the crowd because they're meant to lead, not follow. To lead requires a different kind of preparation, a different kind of discipline, and often that means walking a path that others cannot understand. When you're chosen, God calls you to a higher standard, and that standard often demands a season of solitude. This loneliness is not permanent, but it's essential. It's in these moments of being set apart that God strengthens you, that he reveals the fullness of the vision he has for your life. You're learning to trust in him fully, to lean on him when no one else is there. You're building a foundation of faith that will carry you through every obstacle and challenge that comes your way. And in this solitude, you're also learning who you are without the influence of others, without the opinions of the crowd. You're discovering the strength, resilience, and identity that God has placed within you. So while it may feel lonely, this season of separation is a mark of God's confidence in you. He knows that you're capable of carrying out the vision alone, if necessary, of moving forward, even when others don't understand. He's building within you the heart of a leader, the spirit of a warrior. Embrace this journey, knowing that every step taken in solitude is drawing you closer to the purpose for which you've been set apart. This is the path of the chosen, a path that few can understand, but one that leads to a destiny only you can fulfill. There's a sense inside you that won't let you be satisfied with the ordinary. You find yourself moving through life, watching others around you settle into routines, content with what they have, and yet within you there's a stirring, a divine dissatisfaction that won't allow you to do the same. You know that you were made for more than just going through the motions, that something greater is calling you. This feeling isn't an inconvenience or a sign of ingratitude. It's a sacred nudge from God, a reminder that he has set you apart for something higher. While others might be satisfied with the comfort of the familiar, you have a restlessness that won't let you stay in one place. You feel this constant push to grow, to seek, to pursue something beyond what you can see, as if God himself is saying, I've placed something within you that's too big for ordinary spaces. This divine dissatisfaction is a gift, even if it sometimes feels unsettling. It's God's way of ensuring you don't become complacent, that you don't settle for less than the full purpose he has for you. It's not that you don't appreciate what you have. You are grateful. You recognize the blessings in your life. But when you're chosen, there's a calling that surpasses comfort. God won't let you get too comfortable because he knows that comfort can become a trap, a place where dreams and visions die. He wants you to keep moving, to keep growing, to keep growing, to keep reaching for the greatness he's placed within you. This feeling of dissatisfaction is his way of keeping you on track, of ensuring that you don't lose sight of the bigger picture, the grand purpose for which you were created. You may wonder why you can't just settle like everyone else, why you can't simply find peace and routine and stability. But remember, God didn't create you to blend in. He created you to stand out, to lead, to create, to break barriers and open new doors. This divine dissatisfaction is the fuel that drives you forward, that keeps you searching, pushing, and striving, even when others think you're doing too much. It's a sign that you're chosen, that there's a destiny waiting for you that cannot be reached through ordinary means. This feeling might make you feel like an outsider at times. You may see people around you content with where they are, happy with lives that feel comfortable and familiar. But you were meant for more than comfort. God has placed within you a unique purpose that requires you to be uncomfortable, to stretch beyond what you think is possible. It's not about discontent. It's about recognizing that what he has for you is so much bigger than what you can see right now. You're being called higher, and that call requires you to leave behind the ordinary. Embrace this dissatisfaction as a divine reminder. When others tell you to slow down, to relax, or to be content, remember that God's call on your life is leading you to places they may never understand. This drive, this restlessness is there to keep you moving toward your destiny, toward the people you are meant to impact, the dreams you are meant to fulfill, and the heights you are meant to reach. God knows that if He allows you to settle, you would never experience the fullness of what He has planned for you. So He keeps that fire alive, that hunger for more, because He knows where it will lead you. Let this dissatisfaction fuel you. Allow it to remind you every day that you were made for more than just ordinary existence. You were chosen to carry out a unique purpose, a destiny that requires growth, vision, and the courage to push past comfort. Embrace this divine restlessness and let it propel you forward, knowing that God has prepared something extraordinary for you, a life that cannot be contained by the limits of the ordinary. This vision is not something you can ignore or push aside. It won't let you go. It calls to you in your waking hours, in your dreams, and in those quiet moments when you're alone. It's God whispering to your spirit, reminding you of the extraordinary purpose for which you were created. You may try to settle for something simpler, something safer, but this vision keeps pulling you back, igniting a fire within you that can't be extinguished. It's a holy discontent with anything less than what God has shown you, a drive to reach for the greatness He has prepared for you. Having this vision means you start to see life differently. You begin to look at challenges not as obstacles, but as stepping stones that lead you closer to what God has planned. You start recognizing the opportunities in every setback, understanding that even the hard times are shaping you for something bigger. With this vision, you can look at the world with a sense of purpose, a sense of direction that others may not understand. They may question why you're so driven, why you're willing to sacrifice, why you don't take the easier path. But they don't see what you see. They don't feel the call that compels you forward. This vision brings a level of responsibility that not everyone is willing to carry. When you are chosen, the vision God places in your heart requires you to rise above the ordinary, to stretch beyond your comfort zone, and to pursue something that feels almost impossible at times. You realize that this vision isn't just for you, it's meant to impact others, to bring hope, healing, or transformation to people around you. God didn't give you this vision so you could keep it to yourself. He placed it within you so that you could become a vessel through which His plans unfold in the world. At times, this vision may feel overwhelming. You might question whether you're capable, whether you're worthy, or whether you're prepared to take on such a mission. But remember, God doesn't give a vision without also providing the strength, resources, and wisdom needed to fulfill it. The very fact that this vision lives within you is proof that God has equipped you to bring it to life. Every step you take in faith, every sacrifice you make, every act of courage you display is preparing you to carry out this divine plan. The people around you may not see it. They may even doubt you, questioning your choices or dismissing your dreams. But you don't need their validation because you have something far greater, the assurance that this vision is from God Himself. And if God has given you this vision, then nothing in this world can take it away. It's a promise, a purpose, a destiny that has been sealed within your spirit. So even when you face opposition, when others tell you it's impossible, or when you feel uncertain, hold on to this vision with everything you have. This vision is a gift, a responsibility, and a privilege. To be chosen means to carry a piece of God's heart, to bring His light, His truth, and His love into the world in a unique way. Let this vision be the driving force of your life, the compass that leads you through the unknown, the strength that sustains you in moments of doubt. You are not here by accident, and this vision is no coincidence. It's God's way of saying, I have called you for something extraordinary. Embrace it, pursue it, and trust that every step you take is part of a plan that will bless not only your life, but the lives of countless others. When you are chosen, there's a strength within you that refuses to yield to adversity. This strength isn't always obvious to others, or even to you. It reveals itself in the quiet, determined way you rise each time you fall. Life throws challenges, disappointments, and hardships your way, but somehow you find the courage to stand back up, to push forward when it seems impossible. This resilience is a divine gift, a sign that God has equipped you with the inner power needed to fulfill the purpose He's placed on your life. Others may fall away, discouraged by the weight of obstacles, but you keep going, fueled by a strength that comes from a source beyond yourself. This divine resilience is what enables you to endure seasons of isolation, rejection, or even betrayal. You may face loss, failure, and setbacks that seem insurmountable, yet you continue to press on, fueled by an unexplainable resolve. People around you may wonder how you do it, how you manage to keep moving forward when others would have given up long ago. They may not understand because they don't see what you see. They don't feel the calling that drives you. They haven't been given the strength that God has poured into you, the strength that refuses to let you settle for less than His plan. This resilience isn't about toughness, it's about faith. It's about trusting that every challenge you face is refining you, preparing you, building the character you need to handle the purpose you were made for. You realize that each obstacle is an opportunity to grow, to lean on God's strength rather than your own. And as you do, you begin to see yourself differently, not as someone who simply survives, but as someone who thrives in adversity, someone who rises stronger and more focused after each storm. This resilience isn't a sign of stubbornness, it's a reflection of the faithfulness of God in your life. You may feel weary, but this divine resilience enables you to draw strength from a higher source. You find power in prayer, hope in God's promises, and courage in His presence. You understand that while the journey may be hard, you are not walking it alone. God walks with you, giving you the strength to carry on when your own strength fails. He reminds you that His power is made perfect in your weakness. That when you reach the end of your own ability, He steps in to carry you forward. This is why you don't give up, why you don't let the trials of life defeat you. You know that each setback is just a setup for something greater, a chance for God to show His power through your perseverance. In moments when others would crumble, you find yourself standing. You find yourself moving forward, not because of anything you've done, but because of the unbreakable spirit God has placed within you. This resilience is a divine marker of your calling, a sign that you are chosen, set apart, and sustained by a purpose that cannot be thwarted by any earthly challenge. You begin to understand that your strength is a testimony to those around you, a living example of what faith looks like in action. It becomes a beacon of hope, showing others that with God, they too can overcome, that no obstacle is too great when you are strengthened by a higher power. You may not understand every twist and turn in the journey, and there will be days when the road feels too long, but this resilience will keep you moving. This strength reminds you that the trials are temporary, but God's promise is eternal. Each step, each battle, each victory is part of a divine tapestry, a journey of faith and endurance that leads to a purpose far greater than what you can see now. This resilience is the confirmation that you are chosen, that you have been given a mission worth fighting for, and that no obstacle will ever be too great for the one who walks in the strength of God's calling. When you are chosen, you begin to experience a level of spiritual insight that goes beyond what is visible and obvious. This isn't something you can easily explain or something that everyone else will understand. It's a heightened awareness, a deep connection to God's wisdom that opens your eyes to see beyond the surface. You begin to discern things with clarity, noticing patterns, sensing motives, and perceiving truths that others may overlook. It's as though God has given you an inner compass, a divine intuition that guides you and warns you when something isn't right. This gift of discernment acts like a shield, protecting you from people and situations that don't align with God's purpose for you. It allows you to recognize when someone's intentions are not genuine, when their actions are self-serving, or when their influence might pull you away from your path. While others may be easily deceived by appearances or smooth words, you find yourself seeing through the facade, detecting the reality behind the mask. This awareness doesn't make you judgmental, it makes you wise. You start to make decisions with a heightened sense of purpose, choosing relationships, environments, and opportunities that honor the calling within you. This gift isn't about seeing the future or knowing every answer. It's about being in tune with God's voice. It's about hearing His whispers amid the noise of life, feeling His promptings when you're faced with tough choices, and sensing His reassurance when you're in doubt. This discernment empowers you to step boldly in faith, even when you can't see the whole picture. It allows you to make choices that align with your purpose because you're not relying on what the world tells you, but on what God reveals to you. This is why you can walk with confidence, knowing that each step is guided, each decision is inspired by a wisdom that far exceeds human logic. When you are chosen, you carry within you an unwavering sense of purpose, a deep-rooted conviction that your life is meant for something far beyond the ordinary. This purpose isn't about ego, fame, or fortune. It's about a higher calling, a mission that resonates within your spirit and drives you forward, even in the face of doubt and discouragement. You may not have all the details or a complete picture of what lies ahead, but you feel the pull, a strong, undeniable sense that you are here for a reason that transcends yourself. This sense of purpose acts as your inner compass, giving direction to your decisions, shaping your values, and guiding your actions. It fills you with a passion that keeps you awake at night, thinking, planning, praying. It becomes the force that drives you to rise each day with intention, to work hard, and to push through challenges with resilience and grace. You know, you're not just here to exist, but to make an impact, to leave a mark, to bring light where there is darkness. This purpose is not something you can ignore or set aside. It is woven into the very fabric of your being, giving meaning and significance to everything you do. This divine purpose also provides you with a unique strength and resilience. When others might falter or turn back, you press on. It's not because you're stronger or more capable, but because this calling fills you with a determination that won't let you quit. Even when the journey gets tough, when you feel misunderstood or face setbacks, this purpose serves as a reminder that the road you're on was designed just for you. It becomes a source of hope and motivation, pushing you to keep moving forward, even when it feels easier to give up. You understand that the challenges you face are merely stepping stones, preparing you, refining you, and strengthening you for the fulfillment of your mission. There will be moments when you question this calling, moments when the weight of responsibility feels heavy, and you wonder if you are truly capable. But even in these moments of doubt, you find yourself unable to let go of this purpose because it is not something you chose, it chose you. You were created with a specific plan in mind, and this purpose is a constant reminder of that truth. It is a gentle whisper that keeps you going, that reminds you of the lives you're meant to touch, the difference you're meant to make, and the legacy you're meant to leave. This purpose is also what separates you from the crowd. While others may wander through life searching for meaning, you walk with clarity and focus because you know that your life is part of a bigger picture. You're not swayed by fleeting trends or superficial goals because your heart is set on something far more significant. You don't waste your time on things that don't align with this calling. Instead, you are intentional, choosing relationships, opportunities, and even challenges that will shape you and bring you closer to your purpose. You live with a sense of urgency, knowing that each day is an opportunity to get closer to fulfilling the mission God has placed in you. And as you pursue this purpose, you inspire others to find theirs. People begin to see the fire in your eyes, the passion in your actions, and they recognize that you're not just living for yourself, but for something far greater. You become a source of encouragement, a beacon of light for those who may have lost their way. They see in you the strength that comes from a life driven by purpose, and they feel inspired to seek out the meaning in their own lives. Without even realizing it, you begin to impact others, awakening them to the possibility that they too have a calling, a reason for being. This divine purpose gives you peace in the midst of trials, confidence in the face of uncertainty, and joy in the journey itself. You may not know every step ahead, but you trust that God, who placed this purpose within you, will lead you and provide for you along the way. You understand that each experience, each hardship, and each victory is part of a grander plan, one that you may not fully comprehend, but that you are honored to be part of. This purpose becomes a sacred responsibility, a gift that you carry with humility and gratitude, knowing that you have been chosen to bring something valuable to this world. Even in your quietest moments, you feel it a sense of mission, a calling that cannot be silenced or ignored. You find strength and fulfillment in walking this path because it aligns you with God's vision for your life. It brings you closer to Him, deepens your faith, and shapes you into the person you were always meant to be. And in the end, you realize that this purpose isn't about the destination, it's about the journey, the growth, the people you uplift, and the glory you bring to God through your life. This purpose is your proof that you are chosen, set apart for something extraordinary, something that only you can accomplish. When you are chosen, one of the most profound signs you will encounter is a relentless drive to serve others. This drive isn't a fleeting desire or a passing moment of goodwill. It is a deep-seated commitment to uplift, to help, and to give without expecting anything in return. You begin to feel a sense of responsibility for the well-being of those around you. This isn't about seeking recognition or applause. It's about genuinely wanting to make a difference in the lives of others. There's a profound joy that comes from serving, a fulfillment that fills your spirit when you know you are part of something bigger than yourself, when you are contributing to the greater good. This drive to serve often manifests in ways that surprise you. You may find yourself compelled to help someone in need, offer words of encouragement when you see someone struggling, or dedicate time and resources to causes that align with your heart. It becomes natural to go out of your way to assist those in need, to lift others up, to make their burdens lighter, even when you yourself may not be in a place of abundance. You give not out of surplus, but because you understand that your purpose is tied to the well-being of others. Serving becomes an act of love, a way of showing that you recognize the value of every human being and that you are willing to give of yourself for their benefit. As you continue to serve, you begin to notice the ripple effect of your actions. Your acts of kindness and selflessness inspire others to do the same. You create a wave of generosity, of goodwill, and of love that extends far beyond your immediate reach. People see your example and are compelled to follow. It's a beautiful thing because it reminds you that the good you do is never in vain. Even when you can't see the immediate results, you know that your service is planting seeds that will grow and multiply in ways you may never fully comprehend. This is the power of service. It has the ability to transform lives, build communities, and create a lasting legacy. This drive to serve isn't just about actions, though. It also affects the way you view people. You start to see beyond their flaws, their struggles, and their mistakes. You begin to view people as children of God, deserving of love, respect, and grace. Even those who may not treat you well or who may misunderstand your intentions are seen through the lens of compassion. You don't serve to gain approval or to get something in return. You serve because it's who you are at your core. This mindset shifts everything. It allows you to rise above the superficial differences that separate people and to treat everyone with dignity as though they are a reflection of the Creator Himself. The more you serve, the more you realize that this drive to help others is a direct reflection of God's love for you. Just as God has poured His love into you, you are called to pour that same love into the lives of others. You are a vessel, a channel through which God's love, grace, and mercy flow. And as you serve, you come to know a deeper relationship with Him, because it's in serving that you truly live out the command to love your neighbor as yourself. You begin to understand that serving others isn't just an act of charity, it's an act of obedience, a way of living out your faith in tangible, meaningful ways. In this process, you grow closer to the heart of God. You understand that service isn't something you do when it's convenient, it's something you do because it's woven into the very fabric of your purpose. The more you give, the more you realize that you are the one who receives. In serving others, you are being transformed. You are becoming more like Christ, humble, loving, and selfless. And this transformation doesn't just happen in your actions, it happens in your heart. Your heart becomes more open, more compassionate, and more attuned to the needs of those around you. As you embrace this drive to serve, you begin to see the world differently. You no longer see people as obstacles or competitors, but as fellow travelers on this journey of life, each with their own struggles and triumphs. This perspective shifts your approach to everything, making you more patient, more kind, and more willing to help. When you are chosen, your life is not just about what you can achieve, it's about what you can give. And in the giving, you find the true richness of life. You become a living testimony of the fact that to be chosen is to be called not just to receive, but to give. When you are chosen, there's an undeniable shift in how you see the world around you. The weight of your purpose becomes a lens through which you view every situation, every encounter, and every challenge. You are no longer passive in your experiences, but active and aware of the deeper meanings behind them. Your eyes are open to the divine lessons hidden within even the most mundane or difficult moments. You understand that nothing is random and that every step, every interaction, and every struggle has been placed in your life for a reason. It's as if the veil is lifted and you begin to see the world as it truly is, a place where God's hand is at work in every detail, shaping you, guiding you, and preparing you for what lies ahead. This heightened awareness changes the way you approach life's challenges. When you are chosen, obstacles no longer feel like insurmountable walls. Instead, they become opportunities for growth and transformation. You begin to recognize that setbacks aren't failures, but lessons in disguise, opportunities to strengthen your faith, to refine your character, and to test your perseverance. Even when things don't go according to plan, you trust that God is still in control and that His plans for you are greater than anything you could have imagined. This perspective shift frees you from the burden of fear and doubt, replacing them with a deep, unwavering trust in God's timing and provision. You also become attuned to the needs and struggles of others in a way you never were before. When you are chosen, your sensitivity to the pain, joy, and triumphs of those around you deepens. You begin to notice the subtle signs of struggle in people you encounter, those who are hurting, lost, or seeking direction. You feel compelled to help, not out of obligation, but because you understand that your purpose is tied to their well-being. You recognize that your calling is not just about your own success or happiness, but about being a vessel of support, encouragement, and love for others. This deep awareness opens the door for you to be a source of comfort, guidance, and strength for those who need it most. Moreover, this awareness leads to a deep sense of gratitude. You begin to recognize the blessings in your life, not as things you deserve, but as gifts from a loving Creator. The smallest moments become filled with meaning: the quiet peace of a morning sunrise, the comforting embrace of a friend, the satisfaction of a job well done. You understand that every moment is an opportunity to see God's grace at work, and you become more intentional about giving thanks for all that you have. This gratitude transforms your heart, replacing discontent with a spirit of joy and appreciation. It reminds you that even in the most challenging times, there is always something to be grateful for. This level of awareness also brings peace. When you know that you are chosen and that your life is part of a divine plan, you no longer have to worry about the future. You trust that God is guiding you, leading you, and that everything is unfolding exactly as it should. Even in the midst of uncertainty, there is a deep sense of calm because you understand that your steps are ordered by a loving Creator who has already gone ahead of you, making a way where there seems to be no way. This peace is not dependent on circumstances. It's the peace that comes from knowing you are exactly where you're supposed to be, doing exactly what you're meant to do. In the end, this awareness becomes the foundation upon which you build your life. It shapes your decisions, molds your character, and fuels your actions. It keeps you grounded in your purpose, even when the world around you tries to distract you. When you are chosen, this awareness opens your eyes to the divine possibilities that await you, and it empowers you to step confidently into the future, knowing that you are not walking alone, but are being led by the Creator of the universe. In conclusion, when you are chosen, your life is no longer just about existing. It becomes a journey of purpose, meaning, and divine alignment. The signs that you are chosen are not just markers of your destiny, but they are the evidence that God's hand is upon you, guiding you toward greatness. You are awakened to a new level of awareness, a deep understanding that every challenge, every opportunity, and every encounter is part of a greater plan for your life. You are chosen to be a beacon of light, to inspire others, and to walk in a path of purpose that only you can fulfill. The weight of your calling might seem heavy at times, but with the awareness of your purpose comes the strength to bear it. With each step you take, remember that you are not walking alone. You are walking in the fullness of your divine purpose, led by a Creator who sees your potential even when you don't. So embrace the signs, trust the process, and walk boldly in the knowledge that you are chosen for a purpose far greater than anything you could imagine. The world needs you, your gifts, your heart, and your purpose. Don't shy away from it. Step into it with confidence, because when you are chosen, greatness is your destiny. You were not created to prove yourself to others. You were not designed to fit into the molds that people try to impose on you. Your purpose is not to live up to the expectations of society or to gain approval from those who may never understand your worth. If you spend your life trying to prove yourself to others, you will always fall short. You will find yourself drained, exhausted, and feeling unfulfilled because you're chasing after something that was never meant to define you. Remember this, your value doesn't come from the opinions of others. It doesn't come from how many people like you, approve of you, or think you're successful. Your worth comes from the one who created you. God has already approved you. He has already given you everything you need to fulfill your purpose. You don't need to prove yourself to anyone when you are walking in alignment with the path God has laid out for you. What happens when you focus on proving yourself to others? You become distracted. You become focused on things that don't matter. You become a prisoner to their opinions, and when you do that, you give up your freedom. You give up the freedom to be who God has called you to be, and you lose sight of your unique identity. Instead of trying to prove yourself, live with the confidence that you are enough as you are. Understand that there will always be people who don't see your value. But that's not your burden to carry. Your job is to walk in purpose, to walk in faith, and to trust that God has a plan for you that doesn't require the validation of others. When you realize that, you begin to live with a sense of peace and purpose. You are no longer swayed by the opinions of others, and you stop striving for approval that was never yours to begin with. You become secure in who you are, and that is when you truly become unstoppable. Let your actions speak for you. Let your integrity, your work ethic, your love, and your faith be the proof of who you are. When you focus on living out your purpose with excellence, the need to prove yourself disappears. You no longer feel pressure to explain yourself, defend yourself, or validate your existence. You see, proving yourself to others is rooted in fear, fear of rejection, fear of being misunderstood, fear of not being enough. But faith is the opposite of fear. When you live by faith, you live with confidence that you are already enough. You live with the assurance that you are on the right path, regardless of what others may think or say. And in that faith, you find true freedom. So stop seeking validation from people who were never meant to define you. Stop looking for approval in places where it was never yours to find. Stand firm in who you are, knowing that your value is not tied to the opinions of others, but anchored in the purpose that God has set for your life. You were not created to conform to the expectations of others. Your existence is not defined by society's standards, nor are you meant to be limited by the perceptions of those around you. Every individual is uniquely designed with a purpose that goes beyond the boundaries others may try to place on them. When you attempt to fit into the mold that society presents, you lose the essence of your true self. You compromise your God-given identity for the sake of acceptance. And in doing so, you step away from the path that was specifically crafted for you. It is vital to understand that no one else can define your purpose because they did not create you. Only the Creator knows the blueprint of your life, the gifts you have been given, and the potential that resides within you. When you live to please others, you are allowing people who do not know the fullness of your destiny to dictate how you live. That's a dangerous place to be because their vision is limited. And their understanding of you is often based on their own insecurities or desires. God didn't design you to live a life trying to gain approval from the world. He created you with specific gifts, talents, and a mission that is unique to you. When you embrace this truth, you become free from the need to prove yourself. You realize that your purpose is not tied to the expectations of those around you, but rather it is rooted in the divine plan that God has for your life. When you stop trying to fit into the mold others have designed, you unlock the potential to walk in the fullness of your true calling. Your worth is not determined by the opinions of others, nor is it measured by how many people approve of or praise you. The foundation of your value comes from the one who created you, God Himself. Before you ever sought validation from others, God had already called you worthy. He saw your potential, your uniqueness, and your purpose long before anyone else had an opinion about who you are. Often we make the mistake of believing that our value is dependent on external factors, how much we achieve, how many people like us, or how well we fit into societal expectations. But this is a false sense of validation. People's opinions are fickle. They change with the winds, swayed by trends, misunderstandings, or their own insecurities. If you base your self-worth on what others think, you are building your foundation on shifting sand. God, however, is constant. His love for you is unwavering, and his assessment of your worth does not change based on performance or public approval. When you understand that your value is anchored in God's view of you, you no longer feel the pressure to prove yourself. You become secure in the knowledge that you are already enough. You don't have to fight for acceptance or strive for recognition. The creator of the universe has already placed his seal of approval on you. This truth frees you from the exhausting pursuit of trying to gain the approval of others. It liberates you from the need to compare yourself, to explain yourself, or to win the favor of people who may never fully appreciate you. God sees you for who you truly are, and his validation is the only validation that matters. Once you grasp that, you walk in confidence, knowing that your worth is not something you earn, it is something you already possess. When you spend your life trying to prove yourself to others, it drains your energy, your peace, and your sense of purpose. The constant effort to meet others' expectations becomes a weight you carry, and over time, it exhausts your spirit. Every moment spent seeking approval is a moment lost from fulfilling your true calling. You start to live according to other people's standards, and with each attempt to prove your worth, you move further away from who you were created to be. Think about the effort it takes to please everyone. One person expects you to act a certain way. Another wants you to conform to their ideas, and society as a whole pushes you to fit into its ever-changing norms. Trying to meet all these demands is not only exhausting, but impossible. No matter how hard you try, someone will always have a different opinion of who you should be or what you should do. And as you chase after these fleeting approvals, you begin to lose sight of your own identity. You become consumed with how others perceive you rather than being grounded in who you truly are. The irony is that the more you try to prove yourself, the more empty you feel inside, because the validation you are seeking from others was never meant to fulfill you. It is like chasing after a shadow. No matter how hard you try, it keeps slipping away. Real fulfillment, real satisfaction comes from knowing that you are living your life with purpose, according to the calling God has placed on you. It comes from being authentic, from staying true to who you are, and from walking in the path that is uniquely yours. If you continue down the path of trying to prove yourself, you will find that it becomes a vicious cycle. The more you seek approval, the more dependent you become on it. And the more dependent you are, the further you stray from the purpose that God intended for you. The energy spent on proving yourself could be used to build your dreams, to serve others, and to grow in faith. But when you focus on gaining approval from others, you end up feeling depleted, disconnected, and unfulfilled. When you live your life trying to prove yourself to others, you lose focus on your true purpose. Instead of walking in alignment with the plan God has for you, you become consumed by what others think, say, or expect. This distraction can pull you away from your destiny, leading you to pursue goals and ambitions that were never meant for you. Each time you try to prove yourself, you are shifting your energy and attention toward people who cannot define your worth or purpose, rather than staying focused on the path God has designed specifically for you. You must realize that people's opinions are fleeting and often based on their own limited understanding. They see a small part of your journey, but God sees the whole picture. When you become distracted by trying to please everyone, you start to deviate from the vision God has placed in your heart. You begin to chase after things that look successful on the outside, but leave you feeling empty on the inside. Focusing on others' opinions turns your life into a performance where you're constantly trying to adjust to meet their standards. But the truth is, you can never satisfy everyone. No matter how hard you try, someone will always find something to criticize. But living this way makes you a prisoner to their opinions, and it holds you back from becoming the person God has called you to be. When you are distracted by proving yourself, you also give away your power. You allow others to dictate your actions, your decisions, and ultimately your destiny. Instead of living with intention and clarity, you become reactive, constantly responding to what others expect, rather than taking the lead in your own life. This prevents you from achieving the greatness that is within you because you are not following your true purpose. To fulfill your divine purpose, you must keep your eyes fixed on God's plan. You must resist the temptation to prove yourself to others and instead focus on aligning your life with His calling. Only then will you experience true fulfillment and peace, because you are living out the reason you were created. Don't allow distractions to pull you away from your purpose. Stay centered on what truly matters and let the opinions of others fade into the background where they belong. You are enough just as you are. You don't need to prove yourself to anyone because your value is already established by God. The world may try to convince you that you need to achieve more, look a certain way, or meet certain standards in order to be accepted, but the truth is, you are already complete. Your worth is not based on what you do or how others perceive you, but on who you are as a child of God. From the moment He created you, you were enough. You were created with a purpose, equipped with everything you need to fulfill that purpose, and loved unconditionally. It is easy to fall into the trap of thinking that you must constantly prove your worth through accomplishments or by gaining the approval of others. But this is a never-ending pursuit because the standards of the world are always changing. One day you may feel accepted, and the next day you may feel rejected, depending on people's opinions. If you live seeking validation from others, you will always feel like you need to do more, be more, or have more. But the truth is, you are already enough, just as God made you. Your identity is not tied to how much you can impress others, nor is it dependent on their approval. Your identity is found in who you are in God. He created you with care and intention, giving you gifts, talents, and qualities that are uniquely yours. Trying to prove yourself to others only leads to frustration and disappointment because you're chasing something you already possess, your inherent worth. When you understand that you are enough, you stop striving for validation and begin to walk confidently in who you are. You stop allowing the world to dictate your sense of self and instead live from a place of assurance. You become secure in your identity, knowing that nothing and no one can take away the value that God has placed on your life. This freedom allows you to live with purpose and peace, no longer swayed by the shifting opinions of others. Rest in the knowledge that you don't have to earn your worth. You don't need to meet anyone's expectations to be valuable. God has already determined your worth, and His view of you never changes. You are enough just as you are, and that truth should give you the confidence to live authentically and unapologetically without the need to prove anything to anyone. Let your actions speak for who you are. You don't need to use words to prove your worth or value to others. Your life, character, and integrity will be your proof. When you live with excellence, when you walk in purpose, and when you remain true to your values, your actions will tell the world more about you than any explanation ever could. People may question your motives, misunderstand your journey, or doubt your abilities, but they cannot deny the evidence of a life lived with integrity and purpose. Your actions, consistent, deliberate, and rooted in faith, are what truly matter. In a world where talk is cheap and promises are easily broken, what sets you apart is your ability to demonstrate who you are through what you do. When you show up in life, when you handle challenges with grace, and when you maintain your integrity even in the face of adversity, you are proving yourself without even trying. The need to convince others fades away when your life becomes the evidence of your character. Think of it this way: anyone can say they have a certain value, but not everyone can live it out. Your integrity, your work ethic, your faithfulness, these are the things that will speak for you. Over time, people will see the consistency of your actions and recognize the authenticity of your character. You don't have to go out of your way to prove who you are. Simply live according to the principles that guide you, and that will be more powerful than any argument or defense you could make. When you focus on living in alignment with your purpose, your actions naturally become a testimony to the kind of person you are. People may not always understand you, and some may never acknowledge your value, but that doesn't change the truth of who you are. What matters is that you continue to walk in purpose, guided by God's plan for your life. In the end, it's not what others say about you that defines you, but what your life says about your character. Let your actions be your voice. Let your work be your message. And let your life be the proof of your faith, your strength, and your purpose. When you do this, the need to prove yourself disappears because your life will speak louder than any words ever could. The need to prove yourself to others is often rooted in fear of rejection, fear of failure, or fear of not being enough. This fear drives us to seek validation from those around us, to constantly strive for approval and acceptance. But when you live out of fear, you live in bondage. You become trapped in the expectations and judgments of others, always looking for confirmation that you are worthy, that you belong, or that you are capable. But God has not given you a spirit of fear. He has given you a spirit of power, love, and a sound mind. Fear is deceptive because it convinces you that you are not enough as you are. It tells you that unless you meet certain standards or win people's approval, you will not be accepted. But this is a lie that keeps you bound to a life of anxiety and striving. When you live in fear, you allow other people's opinions to dictate your decisions, your actions, and even your sense of self-worth. You become more concerned with what others think of you than with what God has already declared about you. Faith, on the other hand, sets you free. Faith reminds you that you are already accepted by God, that He has equipped you with everything you need to fulfill your purpose. When you walk in faith, you no longer seek validation from others because you are confident in who you are in Christ. Faith gives you the courage to let go of the need to prove yourself and to live authentically, knowing that God's approval is all you need. Faith also shifts your focus from external validation to internal strength. It empowers you to trust in the gifts, talents, and purpose God has placed within you, rather than seeking approval from the outside world. When you live in faith, you are not swayed by the opinions of others because you are rooted in the unchanging truth of God's word. Fear loses its power over you, and you become free to pursue your purpose without the burden of trying to prove yourself to others. In moments when fear tries to creep in and make you feel inadequate, remember that you are already enough in God's eyes. His love for you is not conditional, and His plans for you are not dependent on human approval. When you embrace faith over fear, you find the confidence to live boldly without needing to prove anything to anyone. You are no longer driven by fear, but by the assurance that God has already validated you, and that is more than enough. When you embrace faith, you unlock a powerful source of confidence and peace in your life. Faith shifts your perspective from one of insecurity and doubt to one of assurance and strength. Instead of worrying about what others think or striving to gain their approval, you learn to trust in God's plan for you. This trust provides a solid foundation, allowing you to stand firm in your identity without being swayed by the shifting opinions of those around you. Faith allows you to understand that your worth is not contingent upon external validation. It reassures you that you are valuable because you were not created to prove yourself to others. You were not designed to fit into the molds that people try to impose on you. Your purpose is not to live up to the expectations of society or to gain approval from those who may never understand your worth. If you spend your life trying to prove yourself to others, you will always fall short. You will find yourself drained, exhausted, and feeling unfulfilled because you're chasing after something that was never meant to define you. Remember this, your value doesn't come from the opinions of others. It doesn't come from how many people like you, approve of you, or think you're successful. Your worth comes from the one who created you. God has already approved you. He has already given you everything you need to fulfill your purpose. You don't need to prove yourself to anyone when you are walking in alignment with the path God has laid out for you. What happens when you focus on proving yourself to others? You become distracted. You become focused on things that don't matter. You become a prisoner to their opinions, and when you do that, you give up your freedom. You give up the freedom to be who God has called you to be, and you lose sight of your unique identity. Instead of trying to prove yourself, live with the confidence that you are enough as you are. Understand that there will always be people who don't see your value. But that's not your burden to carry. Your job is to walk in purpose, to walk in faith, and to trust that God has a plan for you that doesn't require the validation of others. When you realize that, you begin to live with a sense of peace and purpose. You are no longer swayed by the opinions of others, and you stop striving for approval that was never yours to begin with. You become secure in who you are, and that is when you truly become unstoppable. Let your actions speak for you. Let your integrity, your work ethic, your love, and your faith be the proof of who you are. When you focus on living out your purpose with excellence, the need to prove yourself disappears. You no longer feel pressure to explain yourself, defend yourself, or validate your existence. You see, proving yourself to others is rooted in fear, fear of rejection, fear of being misunderstood, fear of not being enough. But faith is the opposite of fear. When you live by faith, you live with confidence that you are already enough. You live with the assurance that you are on the right path, regardless of what others may think or say. And in that faith, you find true freedom. So stop seeking validation from people who were never meant to define you. Stop looking for approval in places where it was never yours to find. Stand firm in who you are, knowing that your value is not tied to the opinions of others, but anchored in the purpose that God has set for your life. You were not created to conform to the expectations of others. Your existence is not defined by society's standards, nor are you meant to be limited by the perceptions of those around you. Every individual is uniquely designed with a purpose that goes beyond the boundaries others may try to place on them. When you attempt to fit into the mold that society presents, you lose the essence of your true self. You compromise your God-given identity for the sake of acceptance, and in doing so, you step away from the path that was specifically crafted for you. It is vital to understand that no one else can define your purpose because they did not create you. Only the Creator knows the blueprint of your life, the gifts you have been given, and the potential that resides within you. When you live to please others, you are allowing people who do not know the fullness of your destiny to dictate how you live. That's a dangerous place to be because their vision is limited and their understanding of you is often based on their own insecurities or desires. God didn't design you to live a life trying to gain approval from the world. He created you with specific gifts, talents, and a mission that is unique to you. When you embrace this truth, you become free from the need to prove yourself. You realize that your purpose is not tied to the expectations of those around you, but rather it is rooted in the divine plan that God has for your life. When you stop trying to fit into the mold others have designed, you unlock the potential to walk in the fullness of your true calling. Your worth is not determined by the opinions of others, nor is it measured by how many people approve of or praise you. The foundation of your value comes from the one who created you, God Himself. Before you ever sought validation from others, God had already called you worthy. He saw your potential, your uniqueness, and your purpose long before anyone else had an opinion about who you are. Often we make the mistake of believing that our value is dependent on external factors, how much we achieve, how many people like us, or how well we fit into societal expectations. But this is a false sense of validation. People's opinions are fickle. They change with the winds, swayed by trends, misunderstandings, or their own insecurities. If you base your self-worth on what others think, you are building your foundation on shifting sand. God, however, is constant. His love for you is unwavering, and His assessment of your worth does not change based on performance or public approval. When you understand that your value is anchored in God's view of you, you no longer feel the pressure to prove yourself. You become secure in the knowledge that you are already enough. You don't have to fight for acceptance or strive for recognition. The Creator of the universe has already placed His seal of approval on you. This truth frees you from the exhausting pursuit of trying to gain the approval of others. It liberates you from the need to compare yourself, to explain yourself, or to win the favor of people who may never fully appreciate you. God sees you for who you truly are, and His validation is the only validation that matters. Once you grasp that, you walk in confidence, knowing that your worth is not something you earn, it is something you already possess. When you spend your life trying to prove yourself to others, it drains your energy, your peace, and your sense of purpose. The constant effort to meet others' expectations becomes a weight you carry, and over time, it exhausts your spirit. Every moment spent seeking approval is a moment lost from fulfilling your true calling. You start to live according to other people's standards, and with each attempt to prove your worth, you move further away from who you were created to be. Think about the effort it takes to please everyone. One person expects you to act a certain way. Another wants you to conform to their ideas, and society as a whole pushes you to fit into its ever-changing norms. Trying to meet all these demands is not only exhausting, but impossible. No matter how hard you try, someone will always have a different opinion of who you should be or what you should do. And as you chase after these fleeting approvals, you begin to lose sight of your own identity. You become consumed with how others perceive you rather than being grounded in who you truly are. The irony is that the more you try to prove yourself, the more empty you feel inside, because the validation you are seeking from others was never meant to fulfill you. It is like chasing after a shadow. No matter how hard you try, it keeps slipping away. Real fulfillment, real satisfaction comes from knowing that you are living your life with purpose, according to the calling God has placed on you. It comes from being authentic, from staying true to who you are, and from walking in the path that is uniquely yours. If you continue down the path of trying to prove yourself, you will find that it becomes a vicious cycle. The more you seek approval, the more dependent you become on it. And the more dependent you are, the further you stray from the purpose that God intended for you. The energy spent on proving yourself could be used to build your dreams, to serve others, and to grow in faith. But when you focus on gaining approval from others, you end up feeling depleted, disconnected, and unfulfilled. When you live your life trying to prove yourself to others, you lose focus on your true purpose. Instead of walking in alignment with the plan God has for you, you become consumed by what others think, say, or expect. This distraction can pull you away from your destiny, leading you to pursue goals and ambitions that were never meant for you. Each time you try to prove yourself, you are shifting your energy and attention toward people who cannot define your worth or purpose, rather than staying focused on the path God has designed specifically for you. You must realize that people's opinions are fleeting and often based on their own limited understanding. They see a small part of your journey, but God sees the whole picture. When you become distracted by trying to please, when you decide to grow, to rise, to transform your life into something extraordinary, it disrupts the environment around you. Growth is not neutral. It challenges mediocrity, confronts complacency, and shakes the foundation of those who have grown comfortable in their own limitations. Your decision to level up exposes what others have chosen to hide, ignore, or neglect in themselves. When you embrace change and pursue excellence, it shines a light on what could have been possible for those around you. It's not that your success offends them, it's what your success reveals. It reveals their fears, insecurities, and their reluctance to step out of their comfort zones. You becoming better is a mirror that reflects what they could do but haven't. And for many, that realization is unbearable. They may whisper, criticize, or even work against you, not because you've done anything wrong, but because your elevation highlights their stagnation. Don't take it personally. Their discomfort is not your burden to carry. Instead, understand that your journey to level up is not just about you, it's also a test for them. Will they choose to rise with you or retreat into resentment? You must remain focused, keep climbing higher, not out of arrogance, but because you understand the call upon your life. You were created for progress, for impact, for influence. The resistance you feel is a sign you're moving in the right direction. Growth will always attract friction, but that friction is what sharpens you, strengthens you, and prepares you for the next level. Your responsibility is not to please others, but to fulfill your purpose. Stay grounded, stay humble, and keep your eyes on the vision. Those who truly understand your heart and your mission will celebrate with you. And for those who cannot, let them deal with the discomfort of their own reflections. Your growth is not a threat to them, it's an invitation for them to grow too. Whether they accept it or not is up to them, but your obligation is to keep moving forward. When you make the decision to grow, you disrupt everything around you. Growth is not a quiet, subtle process. It stirs things up. It challenges the very foundation of what people have grown accustomed to. We live in a world where the majority are content with where they are. Many have settled into a comfortable routine, a place where change and progress seem like distant dreams. But when you begin to level up, when you step into your greatness, it becomes impossible to ignore. Your decision to grow forces the environment to react. It challenges the complacency that has set in. Think about it, people get used to things staying the same. They expect things to remain predictable, to remain within the boundaries they have set for themselves. But when you rise above, when you start striving for more, it forces them to either keep up or stay behind. Your elevation becomes a direct challenge to their comfort zone. It's like a spotlight that shines on everything they have neglected or failed to confront in their own lives. You see, the moment you decide to grow, you no longer fit in with the familiar. You no longer blend into the scenery. You stand out, and standing out makes people uncomfortable. That discomfort isn't necessarily about you. It's about what you represent. You represent change. You represent a higher standard. You represent the possibility of doing more, achieving more, becoming more. And for those who have made peace with mediocrity, that's not an easy thing to face. When you decide to level up, You're not just elevating yourself, you're unknowingly challenging everyone who has chosen to stay where they are. This is not always a comfortable place for others to be. In fact, it can stir up all kinds of reactions in them. Some will admire you, some will be motivated to rise with you, and some will resist, even push back. But make no mistake, your growth is a disturbance. It forces the complacency around you to either evolve or crumble. And that's the power of personal growth. It doesn't ask for permission. It doesn't seek approval. It simply begins. And in the process, it makes the familiar uncomfortable, forcing everyone to reevaluate their own status quo. It is this very disruption that is necessary for the world to move forward. Growth will never be quiet or unnoticed. It will shake the ground beneath you, challenge the stagnant waters, and provoke those who thought they could remain unaffected. But it's this very shaking of the ground that sets the stage for the next great thing to emerge, and that's the power of leveling up. When you begin to rise, to step into a place of greater achievement and success, something happens that you may not expect. Your progress becomes a mirror. It forces others to reflect on themselves. Your success, your growth, shines a light on the areas they have avoided, the dreams they've tucked away, and the possibilities they've chosen not to pursue. It's not that you're intentionally trying to make them feel bad, but your growth has a way of exposing what's missing in their own lives. For many, this is uncomfortable because your success forces them to face their own fears and insecurities. They may look at you and see the opportunities you've seized, the risks you've taken, and the progress you've made, and it brings into focus what they have yet to do. It shines a spotlight on their own unfulfilled potential, and not everyone is ready to confront that. It brings to the surface what they buried under layers of excuses and distractions. The fact that you've dared to level up highlights their own hesitation. They may have dreamed big ones, but somewhere along the way, fear, doubt, or the comforts of mediocrity caused them to shrink back. And now, seeing you push forward, they are reminded of everything they've left behind. This revelation doesn't always sit well with people. It's far easier to remain in the comfort of denial, to pretend that things are fine as they are. But when you rise, when you level up, you show them what's possible. It's not that they dislike you or your success. It's that your growth forces them to look at what they failed to accomplish. It holds a mirror up to their life, and that reflection can be painful. It's easier to ignore the things that aren't working in your life until someone else's success reminds you of the work you've left undone. And while this can be uncomfortable for them, it's important to remember that it's not your responsibility to manage their discomfort. You're not growing to make others feel bad. You're growing because you're called to something greater. But their discomfort is not about you. It's a reflection of their own internal struggles. It's the clash between the life they are living and the life they could have, but haven't yet chosen to pursue. And as your light grows brighter, as your impact widens, it challenges them to decide whether they will rise to meet you or whether they will stay stuck in their own fears. Your growth is a chance for them to confront their own untapped potential, to face the areas in their lives where they have allowed fear and insecurity to keep them from stepping out. But not everyone will respond positively. For some, the realization will stir up anger, jealousy, or frustration. But it's important to recognize that this reaction isn't truly about you. It's about what your success reveals to them about themselves. When you level up, you show them the greatness they could have, the possibilities they've been avoiding, and the life they've been too afraid to pursue. Your success holds a mirror to their insecurities, and that's often a painful thing to face. But it's also the first step toward their own potential awakening if they choose to embrace it. When you begin to aim higher, to push for something greater than the ordinary, your pursuit of excellence becomes an undeniable challenge to those around you. It's not just about what you are doing, it's about what you are becoming. As you start to level up, you begin to stand as an example of what is possible, what is achievable, what can be done when you decide to put in the work and embrace the vision that has been placed in your heart. And that's when things get uncomfortable for those around you. Your journey toward excellence is a direct confrontation with the complacency that surrounds you. Many people are comfortable living in the realm of good enough. They've settled into routines, content with what's familiar, and have embraced the limitations that come with mediocrity. But when you decide to reach for the extraordinary, you begin to challenge the very core of what they've accepted for themselves. You don't even have to say anything. Your actions alone are enough to make them question their own choices, their own ambitions, and the very standards they've set for their lives. This challenge isn't something they can ignore. They see you taking the risks, stepping outside of the safe, familiar zones they've grown accustomed to. They see you striving for excellence, working toward a vision that stretches beyond what's conventional. And with every step you take toward your goals, they are reminded of what they could be doing but haven't. It forces them to come face to face with the realization that they, too, could be pursuing something greater if they dared to dream and work as you have. It shines a light on their own potential, the potential they've left unexplored. But here's the thing, many people will not be ready to face that. It's much easier to remain in a state of ignorance to avoid confronting the discomfort of what could be than it is to actually do the hard work and take the risks necessary to level up. When you step into your greatness, you challenge not just the status quo, but the internal limitations that others have placed on themselves. Your pursuit of excellence exposes the gap between what is and what could be. For some, it's a painful reminder of their own underachievement. For others, it's a wake-up call to begin their own journey toward excellence. But it's never neutral. It forces a response, even if that response is uncomfortable. When you level up, you are not just improving yourself, you are sending a message. You're showing that it is possible to break through the barriers that others have accepted. You are showing them what happens when you decide that good enough is no longer enough. You're showing them that with the right mindset, determination, and commitment, they can also strive for greatness. Your actions, your relentless pursuit of excellence are a powerful invitation for them to rise with you. But whether they accept that invitation or not is entirely up to them. The impact of your journey toward excellence goes beyond your own life. It serves as a reminder to everyone around you that they too have the capacity to do more, to become more, to achieve more. But just by doing what you do, by showing up and pushing forward, you force them to recognize the reality that they are either moving toward greatness with you or staying behind. And that's the power of pursuing excellence. It's not just about you reaching new heights. It's about sparking something in others that calls them to reach for more in their own lives. The pursuit of excellence becomes a mirror that reflects the best version of themselves that they could be if they dare to rise. As you begin to level up, it's almost inevitable that you will face resistance. This resistance often doesn't come from people who have something against you personally, but from the environment around you. People in your life may not understand why you're choosing to push for more, and they may not know how to react when you start to rise. So what happens next? They begin to criticize, to complain, to try to hold you back. But you must understand something crucial here. The resistance you face is not truly about you. It's about their own discomfort with your progress. You see, when you start to elevate yourself, it shines a light on everything that they have either neglected or avoided in their own lives. It forces them to confront the things they've chosen to ignore. For many, this is a very uncomfortable position to be in. It's much easier to remain in the comfort of mediocrity where no one expects more from you. But when you start breaking through barriers, when you start achieving what others may consider impossible, you put pressure on them. You make them look at their own lives, their own choices, and the things they've allowed to hold them back. And the truth is, most people will not react with joy. They won't immediately cheer you on. They won't all see your success as a sign of inspiration. For some, it will feel like a challenge. Your success forces them to evaluate their own journey, and for many, that's too much to handle. Instead of celebrating your growth, they may attempt to diminish it. They might criticize your choices, make negative comments, or even try to put obstacles in your way. Why? Because your progress is reminding them of what they have yet to accomplish. It's reminding them of their own potential that they have failed to tap into. And instead of rising to meet you, they push back, not because you've wronged them, but because your growth exposes their own inaction. This resistance can be subtle or overt. And it can come from many directions. It can come from family members who don't understand why you're putting in extra hours, or friends who question why you're choosing to follow a different path. Sometimes it comes from people who feel that you've outgrown the shared experiences or habits you once had. When you level up, your energy shifts, and not everyone will be comfortable with that shift. But this is something you must recognize. Their reaction is about their own struggle with change. Your success highlights their inability or unwillingness to move forward. And that discomfort manifests as criticism, doubt, and even sabotage. But this isn't a reflection of who you are. It's a reflection of who they are, or more accurately, who they haven't yet chosen to be. It's easier for people to focus on your weaknesses, your flaws, your mistakes, because it takes the attention off their own shortcomings. They can point fingers at you, criticize your progress, and tell you that you should slow down or stay in your lane. But this is not your problem to solve. Your responsibility is not to fix their discomfort. Your responsibility is to stay focused on your journey and to keep rising regardless of the noise. If you allow their criticism to deter you, you'll never reach the heights you are meant to achieve. You must understand that criticism is often a byproduct of success. The more you rise, the more you disrupt the status quo, and that's what often triggers resistance. But you must also remember that this resistance isn't a reflection of your worth or your path. It's simply a sign that you're on the right track. People don't resist what doesn't matter. They only resist what challenges them to do better, to be better, to rise to the occasion. So keep moving forward. Don't let the voices of resistance drown out the calling in your heart. The discomfort others feel when you rise is a signal that your growth is not just about you, it's about the shift you're prompting in the world around you. And though they may not understand it now, you are breaking through barriers not just for yourself, but for everyone who will follow in your footsteps, whether they choose to embrace it or not. As you continue to level up, something extraordinary happens. You begin to experience a shift in the way people perceive you. The more you elevate your life, your success, your mindset, the more you begin to stir feelings in others that they may not even be aware of. It's an invisible yet undeniable impact. Your transformation forces them to question their own choices, their own progress, and their own life story. And while you're busy focused on your next move, others may start to view you not just as a peer or a friend, but as someone who is no longer in their same category. This change in perception can be subtle at first, but eventually it becomes evident in how people begin to treat you. Some may begin to pull away, some may speak less openly around you, and some may even act distant, all because they feel the growing gap between your evolution and where they are in their own journey. It's not a personal attack on you. It's the result of them seeing you as someone who is different now, someone who has moved forward and left them behind. And for some, this is a very difficult thing to accept. The truth is, not everyone is ready to see you elevate. For some, your growth triggers feelings of inadequacy. They see you doing the things they've always talked about doing but never followed through on. They watch as you take risks, make bold decisions, and begin to enjoy the fruits of your labor. And in the process, they are forced to confront the reality that they too could have been doing the same thing but chose not to. This triggers discomfort. It creates a sense of unease because now they must reconcile your progress with their stagnation. The truth is, some will begin to avoid you or limit their interaction with you, not because they don't care about you, but because your growth has become a mirror to their own missed opportunities. Your success reveals to them everything they could have achieved, but have not. It's not that they are jealous of you, but rather they are struggling with their own feelings of regret, guilt, or missed chances. And when someone is confronted with their own unfulfilled potential, it can be overwhelming. They may retreat into silence, become critical, or even pretend that your success doesn't matter to them. But deep down, your growth forces them to question where they went wrong, where they've held themselves back, and why they've been content with less. But the key thing to remember is that their reaction is not a reflection of you. It's a reflection of where they are in their own journey. When you rise, you give people the opportunity to rise with you. But not everyone will be able to take that leap. Not everyone is ready to face the discomfort of their own unfulfilled potential. For some, it's easier to push you away than it is to confront their own fears and failures. It's easier to pretend that they are unaffected by your growth than it is to take responsibility for their own stagnation. And while this may hurt, you must understand that this distancing isn't about you, it's about them and what they're not ready to confront in their own lives. But just because people begin to see you differently or treat you differently doesn't mean that you should shrink back. You cannot let the fear of their discomfort stop you from continuing your ascent. Your level up is not for them, it's for you. And when you elevate yourself, you not only rise to new heights for your own fulfillment, but you set the stage for others to eventually see what's possible for them as well. Their initial reactions may be based in fear, jealousy, or insecurity, but that doesn't mean they will always remain there. Over time, as they see you continue to rise, they may begin to ask themselves, why can't I do that too? Your journey will serve as a catalyst for transformation, not just for you, but for those who are willing to take the hard look at their own lives. Your rise is a reflection of what's possible. And while some may resist it in the beginning, your commitment to your growth will eventually call them to do the same. It may take time for them to adjust, but in the end, your journey might be the very thing that sparks their own transformation. So even when people start to treat you differently, know that your level up is not just about you, it's about breaking through the barriers of comfort and showing everyone around you that more is possible. As you continue to elevate yourself and reach for higher levels, something becomes increasingly apparent. Your progress forces others to reckon with the choices they've made, or perhaps more accurately, the choices they have not made. When you level up, you begin to expose what's been hidden or ignored in the lives of those around you. Your success, your relentless pursuit of personal growth, and your commitment to excellence serve as a direct reflection of what is possible in the world. This is a powerful force, but it's not always met with open arms. Instead, your ascent may lead people to feel insecure, challenged, or even threatened by the very presence of your ambition. What happens when your dreams and goals become real? When your visions for the future begin to materialize? You start to illuminate a path that others may have seen as too difficult, too far out of reach, or even impossible. Your willingness to take risks, make sacrifices, and put in the hard work to transform your life shines a light on the fact that they too have been sitting on untapped potential, waiting for the right moment to act. And this is where things can get tricky. Not everyone is going to embrace your progress. In fact, your progress may expose the painful reality that they have settled for less than what they are truly capable of. People around you may begin to ask themselves difficult questions. Why haven't I done more? Why haven't I worked harder to pursue my dreams? Why haven't I stepped out of my comfort zone? And when they are confronted with these hard truths, it can stir up a lot of negative emotions. This is why your progress, your growth will sometimes be met with resistance or even bitterness. Your rise serves as a reminder of their own inaction, their own fears, and the dreams they've allowed to wither. They may not say it to you directly, but the fact that you're going after what you want with passion and purpose holds up a mirror to everything they have not done. Some people might even criticize you subtly or overtly, trying to make you feel guilty for your success. They might downplay your achievements, diminish your progress, or tell you that you're being too ambitious. They might even try to discourage you from moving forward, because by continuing on your path, you are highlighting the uncomfortable truth that they have been choosing not to move forward in their own lives. This is not a personal attack on you, it's a defense mechanism. When someone feels like they are being left behind, it triggers insecurity, and rather than confronting that insecurity, they project it onto you. They want you to shrink, to slow down, to hold back so they can stay comfortable in the life they've created for themselves, even if it's a life that falls short of what they could achieve. But here's the reality you must understand. You cannot be responsible for their feelings. You cannot be responsible for the choices they've made or the things they've left undone. You are not responsible for their regrets, their fears, or their insecurities. Your responsibility is to yourself, to your own growth, to your own potential. You must understand that your level up is not a threat to their existence. It's an opportunity for them to rise. By embracing your own potential, you are showing them what's possible, but they must be willing to take that step themselves. They must be willing to face their own discomfort and take ownership of their life choices. Your journey will force others to either confront their own limitations or stay in their comfort zone. When you level up, you provide them with a choice: either remain stuck in mediocrity or face the difficult, often painful journey of growth and transformation. The choice is theirs, but by choosing to continue on your own path of growth, you make it clear that no one is trapped in their current circumstances unless they choose to be. Your progress reveals that there is more out there, that success is not just reserved for a few, but is available to anyone who is willing to rise above the status quo. While some will retreat in the face of their own discomfort, others will be inspired by your commitment to your own growth. Your rise will serve as a beacon, calling them to action, urging them to face their fears and begin their own journey towards something greater. But whether they choose to answer that call or not is beyond your control. Your duty is to keep moving forward, to keep leveling up, to keep showing up for yourself, regardless of the reactions of others. Because at the end of the day, your journey is about you, your dreams, your growth, and your legacy. And as you continue to rise, you will find that the ones who are ready to grow with you will eventually find their way into your circle, while those who choose to stay behind will fall away. But either way, your commitment to leveling up will not only change your life, but will serve as a reminder to those around you that they too can rise if they choose to. As you continue to level up, you will inevitably encounter people who cannot handle your growth, people who will seek to undermine your progress in subtle and sometimes not so subtle ways. These individuals may not outwardly express it, but deep down they will find your success unsettling. Why? Because your rise confronts them with a stark reminder of what they have not achieved, and it makes them uncomfortable. They begin to feel as though they are falling behind, and for some, the idea of being left behind is far too painful to bear. Their reaction may not always be overt, but it is present. They may try to diminish your success, make you feel guilty for your achievements, or even plant seeds of doubt in your mind. This behavior is not about you, but rather about their own internal struggle. When you level up, you force people to examine their own lives and question why they haven't pursued the same path you have. Your success, your hard work, and your forward momentum hold up a mirror to their own fears, insecurities, and procrastination. Some people may try to sabotage you because at a deeper level, they want to stay in their comfort zone. They don't want to face the pain of realizing that they have not taken the necessary steps to change their own circumstances. They may start to criticize you or even make negative comments about your achievements in an attempt to pull you back down to their level. In doing so, they hope to remove the pressure your success puts on them to elevate themselves. However, it's important to remember that these negative reactions are not personal attacks on you, even though they may feel like they are. What they really reflect is the inner turmoil of individuals who are scared to confront the very things that are holding them back. When you rise, it forces them to face the possibility that they too could be successful if they took the same steps you have taken. But facing that truth is difficult. It's much easier to try to make you feel guilty or to make your success seem unimportant than it is to do the hard work of change themselves. So in an attempt to protect their own ego and avoid their own discomfort, they may project their insecurities onto you. Your level up is a threat to their comfort zone. It's a reminder that there's more to life than where they currently are, and that they too have the ability to break free from their own limitations. But breaking free is not easy. It requires introspection, sacrifice, and a willingness to take risks. It requires getting out of the mindset of staying small, staying safe, and staying comfortable. And not everyone is ready for that. So they may attempt to minimize your progress in order to keep you at the same level as them, in order to keep you from growing past them. They may say things like, you're getting too big for your boots, or you're acting like you're better than everyone else. All in an attempt to pull you back to their level of mediocrity. But this is where you have to be strong. You must refuse to shrink for the comfort of others. You cannot allow their fears to hold you back. Their insecurities are not yours to carry. You must continue to pursue your goals, even if it means losing people along the way. Your commitment to growth will sometimes mean that not everyone will be able to come along for the ride, and that's okay. The people who genuinely support your success will cheer you on, will encourage you to keep going, and will celebrate every step you take. Those who try to pull you back are not your people, and it's crucial to recognize this early on. Their negativity, criticism, or attempts to undermine you are simply reflections of their own limitations, and they are not yours to own. It's also important to recognize that while some may attempt to hinder you, others will be inspired by your journey. Some people will look at your success and say to themselves, if they can do it, so can I. Your growth will ignite a spark in them that they might not have had the courage to light on their own. And when you begin to realize that your level up is not just for you, but for those around you who are ready to rise with you, it becomes even more powerful. Your success becomes a beacon, a light showing others the way. But only those who are ready will be able to follow. The rest will remain where they are, either by choice or by fear. You cannot control that. Your growth is an invitation, not just to yourself, but to those around you. But it is also a challenge to those who have been comfortable in their complacency. They may try to drag you down, but your refusal to be stopped will eventually show them the power of persistence, of commitment, and of unwavering belief in your potential. Even if they can't yet see it, your progress may one day inspire them to break free from their own limitations. And while it may not happen immediately, the seed of possibility has been planted. So when people attempt to sabotage your progress or undermine your success, remember this: their reactions are about them, not you. You are the one who is brave enough to step into the unknown, to face your fears, and to break free from the comfort zone. And as you continue to level up, you will find that the people who truly belong in your life will celebrate your success, while those who aren't ready for it will eventually fade away. Your journey is yours to take, and you must stay focused on your path, regardless of the resistance that comes your way. Keep moving forward, for your success is not just about you. It's a powerful force that can inspire and empower others to rise with you. As you continue on your path of growth and self-elevation, it's essential to understand that not everyone will be pleased with your success, and that's something you must accept. The higher you rise, the more you will find yourself in a position of influence, and the more you will see the impact of your success on those around you. But with that influence comes the discomfort of people who feel they've been left behind, or worse, the people who try to latch onto your success without having put in the work themselves. They see what you've achieved, and instead of being inspired, they choose to covet what you have without understanding the sacrifices, the long hours, the discipline, and the hard choices that you had to make to get to where you are. These individuals will try to take advantage of your success by seeking to align themselves with you, even though they haven't been on the journey with you. They may start to act as though they are a part of your success, that they somehow deserve the credit for your accomplishments. They might begin to latch on to your energy, your ideas, and your momentum in an attempt to feed off your growth without having put in the same effort. This is a dangerous game because these people have not earned the right to be part of your journey, but they will try to claim a place nonetheless. They may even go as far as to start mimicking your behavior or words, pretending as though they have been with you every step of the way. It's important to recognize that these individuals do not value the process of growth. They only want to enjoy the rewards. They want the benefits of your journey without paying the price. They may praise you publicly, all the while resenting you privately. Why? Because they know deep down that they have not put in the work that you have, but they still crave the outcome. They are like opportunistic parasites seeking to capitalize on your success. They are not interested in personal growth or genuine contribution. They just want the benefits of the work you have done. But here's where you must be discerning. You have to protect your energy and your focus. You must be aware of who is around you and ask yourself, are these people genuinely contributing to my journey, or are they simply feeding off my progress? It's critical to understand that not everyone who seeks your company or shows interest in your success has your best interest at heart. Some people will try to attach themselves to you because they think they can gain something from being associated with your achievements. These are the ones who will gladly ride the wave of your momentum without ever contributing a single ounce of effort. They want to be seen with you because being close to you boosts their status, but they have no intention of doing the hard work that got you there. This is not about rejecting people, but it is about setting boundaries. You have to protect your space, your energy, and your vision from those who would seek to dilute it. You cannot allow anyone to siphon off your energy just to satisfy their own desires. People who are truly aligned with you will support your growth, will encourage you to rise even higher, and will understand that success is not something that is just handed to anyone. It's earned through hard work, perseverance, and commitment. The ones who try to latch on without contributing are the ones who will fade away when the going gets tough. They will not withstand the pressure that comes with growth because they are not invested in the journey. At the same time, those who are genuinely invested in their own growth and yours will understand the importance of building their own foundation and will respect the process it took for you to get to where you are. They won't try to shortcut the journey. They won't seek to take credit for your success. Instead, they will take lessons from you, be inspired by your journey, and put in the work necessary to create their own. These are the people who will elevate with you, not by claiming your success, but by creating their own. You must also realize that when you level up, the true nature of people will be revealed. Some will stand beside you, lifting you higher, while others will try to pull you back down. The ones who seek to latch on without contributing will try to hold you back from progressing further, perhaps out of jealousy, envy, or their own need to feel superior. They want to take credit for your rise without doing any of the heavy lifting themselves. These people will never understand the value of your journey, nor will they respect the time and energy you have invested in your personal growth. So in those moments when you recognize that someone is trying to feed off your success, you must have the courage to keep moving forward without letting them derail you. You cannot allow your progress to be hindered by those who are not willing to put in the same work. Don't let the fear of being alone or the desire to please everyone keep you from cutting off those who are not meant to walk this path with you. Protect your energy. Stay focused on your purpose. You are not here to drag people along who are unwilling to put in the work. You are here to rise, and only those who are willing to put in the work alongside you will be worthy of walking that journey with you. Your level up, your growth, and your success are meant to inspire, not to enable others to live off of what you've built. As you rise, you must be discerning enough to recognize who is genuinely rooting for your success and who is just trying to latch on to ride the wave of your progress. Keep your circle tight. And let those who are committed to their own journey and who respect the work you've done join you in your success. Let others fall away if they are not ready to rise with you, and continue on your path to greatness with the understanding that those who truly belong in your life will stay with you. And those who do not will eventually reveal their true intentions. As you continue to elevate yourself, you will encounter a subtle yet powerful shift in the dynamics of your relationships. Not everyone will be able to handle your growth, and some people will struggle with the distance that begins to form between you and them. As you rise, your energy, your mindset, and your lifestyle will naturally begin to change. You will find yourself focused more on your goals, more disciplined in your approach, and more intentional in your actions. This transformation will not only affect how you operate, but also how others perceive you. This is not a reflection of who you are, but of where they are in their own lives. Their inability to support your rise comes from their own fear of what it means for them. They don't know how to deal with the fact that you've outgrown the version of yourself that they are familiar with. This can create a silent tension in your relationships where you may feel like you are walking on eggshells or questioning your actions to avoid triggering these reactions. It's important to recognize that as you level up, it's not just your external circumstances that change, it's your internal world as well. Your thoughts, values, and aspirations evolve. And as a result, your relationships will naturally shift. People who were once part of your inner circle may start to feel like they no longer fit into your new reality. This doesn't mean you should discard them, but rather that you must accept that relationships sometimes grow apart as a natural byproduct of growth. Your transformation will either inspire those around you to level up with you or expose the fact that they are not ready to make the same changes. This dynamic can be difficult because it may feel like you're losing connections with people you once considered close. However, you must understand that this process is necessary for your growth. You cannot continue to carry the weight of relationships that are no longer aligned with where you're going. Not everyone is meant to walk with you to the next phase of your life. Some people may only be meant to walk with you to a certain point, and when that time comes to an end, it is not a sign of failure, but rather a sign of progress. When this happens, don't be tempted to shrink back into a version of yourself that no longer serves you just to preserve the comfort of others. You cannot allow people to hold you back because they are afraid of your success. You cannot be afraid to evolve and grow. Even if it means creating space between you and people who are not willing to evolve with you. Their discomfort is their burden, not yours. They must come to terms with it in their own time. Your duty is to stay true to your path, continue rising, and not allow yourself to be pulled down to a level that no longer serves your highest purpose. Sometimes this process will require you to step back and reevaluate the people in your life. Are they helping you grow, or are they hindering your progress? Are they genuinely happy for your success, or do they quietly wish they had what you have? It's crucial to surround yourself with people who elevate you, who inspire you to keep going, and who will celebrate your success with you. If someone is consistently trying to pull you down or is uncomfortable with your growth, it may be time to reassess that relationship. It's important to let go of the fear of losing people who are not aligned with your path. As you grow, you will make room for new relationships, for new people who will support and encourage you. Sometimes the people who leave are the ones who were never truly meant to be with you for the long haul. And while it may hurt initially to let go, it is part of the process of growth. Your future will be shaped by the people you choose to walk with, and you must make room for those who will challenge you to be better, who will cheer for your progress, and who will push you toward greatness. In time, you will learn that the people who stay with you through your growth are the ones who were meant to be there all along. They are the ones who will rise with you, who will understand that your success is not a reflection of their failure, but a testament to what is possible when you fully commit to your journey. They will be the ones who support you as you continue to evolve and level up. So while you may lose some relationships along the way, understand that this process is part of your transformation. Trust that the people who are meant to be in your life will remain, and those who are not will fade away. Your growth is inevitable. And with it, you will attract the right people who will help propel you even higher. As you rise and level up in your life, you must also prepare yourself for the shift in how others perceive your success. There will be a growing tension between those who celebrate your victories and those who seek to undermine your progress. It's not always intentional, but people will notice your growth, and their reactions can vary widely. Some will cheer you on, eager to see you succeed and proud of your accomplishments. But there will always be others who will react with discomfort, jealousy, or even disdain. This shift in perception is something you must be prepared for, because the moment you start to truly shine, you will inadvertently become a target. Those who are uncomfortable with their own lives or who feel insecure about their own progress may try to bring you down. These individuals may criticize your achievements, downplay your successes, or even try to sabotage your efforts in subtle, passive-aggressive ways. They will not always show their jealousy outwardly, but you will feel the coldness, the dismissiveness, or the backhanded compliments. It can be discouraging when you see people who were once supportive suddenly turning away from you, or even trying to make you feel guilty for your success. But let me remind you, your success is not the cause of their discomfort. Their lack of progress is. When people see you advancing, especially when they are stuck in their own lives, it forces them to confront the reality of their own stagnation. They have to deal with the uncomfortable truth that they have not put in the same effort, they have not made the same sacrifices, or they have not chosen to rise above their own limitations. And instead of being motivated by your success, they let their envy take over. It becomes easier for them to criticize your journey than to reflect on their own lack of movement. This is where you need to make a choice. You cannot allow their discomfort to derail your progress. You must understand that when they criticize you, when they try to belittle your achievements, it's not about you. It's about their own inability to handle the truth of their own situation. Your rise is simply a mirror that reflects what they have not done for themselves. They may try to make you feel guilty or ashamed of your success, but you must resist that temptation to shrink back into the shadows. You cannot allow anyone to make you feel guilty for doing the hard work to get to where you are. Your journey, your progress, and your success are your own. They are the result of your efforts, your sacrifices, and your commitment to becoming a better version of yourself. People may not always understand the price you've paid to get to where you are. They may not see the late nights, the struggles, the failures, or the countless hours of hard work you've invested into your growth. All they see is the outcome. And while they may secretly wish they had what you have, they fail to recognize that it's not about luck or privilege. It's about persistence, focus, and the willingness to pay the price of success. You must stand firm in your belief that you deserve your success because you've earned it. Don't let anyone make you feel otherwise. The jealousy and discomfort others feel when they see you rise are often the result of their own inner battles. They are not jealous of you personally. They are jealous of the fact that you have taken control of your life, that you have made the decision to push forward while they've remained stuck. They may never tell you this, but deep down they know that they could have chosen the same path if they had the courage to take action. And rather than face their own fears and limitations, they choose to target you because it's easier than confronting their own shortcomings. But you must never allow yourself to shrink in the face of their criticism. You must keep pushing forward, knowing that every step you take toward your dreams is a victory, not just for you, but for everyone who is watching you, especially those who might need a reminder that their own success is within reach. They may criticize you, but your success will be a reminder to them of what is possible if they are willing to put in the same work. Your success may even serve as the catalyst for their own transformation, but that will only happen if you continue to rise, regardless of how others perceive you. In moments when you feel the weight of their criticism, remember that their words are not a reflection of your worth, but a reflection of their own struggles. Their jealousy is a sign that you are on the right path, that you are doing something that others wish they could do. Your growth and success are not threats to them unless they are unwilling to confront their own inadequacies. So let their discomfort fuel your determination. Let it remind you that you are exactly where you need to be, that your success is not something to hide or be ashamed of, but something to embrace and celebrate. The more you rise, the more others will be forced to confront their own insecurities. Some will rise to the occasion and strive to reach the same level of success as you. Others will fall away, unable or unwilling to confront their own fears. This is the natural order of things. You cannot carry people who are not ready to move forward with you. But those who are meant to walk alongside you will remain, and they will cheer you on every step of the way. So when you feel the sting of others' jealousy or discomfort, remember that it is just a sign of your own progress, a sign that you are doing something right, and a sign that you are becoming the person you were always meant to be. Don't let their discomfort derail your progress. Keep rising and let your success speak for itself. In the end, your journey of growth and elevation is yours and yours alone. As you continue to level up, you will face challenges, criticism, and discomfort from others. But remember, this is simply the result of your progress. Your success is not a threat to those around you. It is a reflection of your hard work, dedication, and the sacrifices you've made. Let the discomfort and jealousy you encounter be a reminder that you are on the right path. Those who are meant to stay with you will rise with you, and those who cannot understand your growth will fall away. You must embrace the journey, understanding that not everyone will be able to walk with you. But as you continue to rise, you will create space for those who truly resonate with your vision and who will walk alongside you to even greater heights. Do not allow the discomfort of others to silence your progress. Your rise is inevitable, and every step you take towards your goals is a testament to the power of your commitment and belief in yourself. Keep pushing forward, keep shining, and let your success be the proof that no matter what others think, you are destined for greatness. Your level up is not just for you, but for everyone who will one day find inspiration in your journey. Let them see that it is possible to rise, to evolve, and to thrive, no matter the obstacles in your way. Stay true to your path and trust that everything you need will come to you as you continue to grow. You are feared not because of where you've been, but because of where you are going. You see, the greatest fear that others have is not in your past, but in the power you carry within you for the future. They sense the purpose inside of you, the potential that's been waiting to burst forth. Fear doesn't attack weakness, it attacks greatness. It fears what it cannot control, what it cannot predict, what it cannot stop. People fear you because they see what you don't yet fully realize about yourself. The enemy knows that if you ever grasp the full extent of your potential, nothing will be able to hold you back. You were designed for dominion, for leadership, for influence, and the mere scent of that destiny causes fear to rise in the hearts of those who would prefer you stay small. But you weren't created to shrink. You were created to expand, to increase, to multiply. Fear will try to mask itself as criticism, jealousy, or rejection. But recognize this: when people come against you, it is not a sign of your inadequacy, it's a signal of your significance. They fear the strength of your spirit, the resolve in your soul, the light in your vision. And that's why you must stand firm. Don't let their fear of you become your fear of yourself. You were born to make a difference, to rise above limitations, and to show the world what is possible when you walk in the fullness of God's plan for your life. Understand that fear is not the enemy, complacency is. Their fear is a reflection of your potential, but your greatest obstacle is settling for less than you were designed to achieve. When you walk with purpose, fear cannot hold you. When you align with God's vision for your life, fear cannot deter you. Those who fear you do so because they can see a glimpse of what God has placed within you. They know that once you tap into that power, you will become unstoppable. So embrace their fear as a signpost that you are on the right path. Don't shrink back. Don't apologize for your greatness. And don't let anyone's fear of you turn into doubt within you. God did not place you here to fit in, but to stand out. He did not call you to survive, but to thrive. Your future is too great, your destiny too important, and your potential too powerful to be intimidated by the fears of others. You were made to rise, to conquer, and to transform. Keep moving forward, because it's not your fear that should hold you back, but the fear of those who know exactly who you are about to become. People don't fear where you've been, they fear where you are going. They fear the vision that you carry, the potential that's locked within you, waiting to be unleashed. You see, your past might have been filled with struggles, challenges, and setbacks, but that's not what makes people uneasy. It's the future they see rising in you that causes them to tremble. They may not even fully understand it, but they can sense it. There's something in you that speaks of destiny, something that whispers of greatness, and that's what stirs fear in those around you. When you walk with purpose, when you carry a vision that is bigger than your circumstances, people notice. It disrupts the status quo. They fear what you represent because your very existence challenges their comfort zones. You remind them of what they could be, but have chosen not to pursue. You are a living example that there is more to life than just surviving. You are walking in the direction of thriving, of transforming, of becoming everything you were designed to be. And that makes people uncomfortable. The truth is, people fear potential more than they fear problems. Your past may show scars, but your future shows strength. They are not worried about your failures. They are intimidated by your future successes. They fear your resilience, your ability to rise, to push forward, and to keep striving. They know that once you step fully into the destiny that God has prepared for you, you will break barriers and set new standards. Your potential is a threat to mediocrity, and that's why they fear you. Don't be surprised when people try to discourage you, when they criticize or question your direction. They are not reacting to your past. They are reacting to the power of your future. The enemy always attacks what he knows has the greatest potential. They fear what you carry inside, because once that is fully released, you become unstoppable. So walk boldly in your calling, knowing that the very thing they fear is what will set you apart. Their fear is not about who you were. It's about who you are becoming. When people set traps for you, it's not a sign of your weakness, but a reflection of their own insecurity. You see, fear doesn't attack where there is no strength. The reason people plot against you, the reason they try to undermine your progress, is because they see something in you that they cannot control. They fear what they cannot contain. They fear the light in you, the potential that threatens their mediocrity. But here's what they don't understand in their attempt to destroy you. They are only setting themselves up for their own downfall. The pit they dig for you is not your final destination, it's theirs. The very trap they set will become the trap that captures them. Why? Because God has a principle that cannot be undone. What a man sows, he reaps. When they sow deceit, when they plan your destruction, they are actually planting the seeds of their own demise. They think they can block your path, but they don't realize that the path you're on is ordained by God. And no pit, no scheme, no plot can stop what God has purposed for your life. People who operate in fear always try to destroy what they don't understand. They see your favor, they see your calling, and they try to dig a pit to stop you. But the problem is, they cannot destroy what God has blessed. No weapon formed against you will prosper, and every trap laid out for you will only serve to elevate you to a higher place. In trying to bring you down, they will fall into their own pit because they are fighting against a purpose that is bigger than you, God's purpose. Your job is not to focus on the pit, but to keep walking in your purpose. Don't spend your energy worrying about their plots. Don't get distracted by their traps. The pit is not your end, it's their end. They will fall into the very thing they created to destroy you because their efforts are futile against God's plan for your life. When others attempt to undermine you, it's not a reflection of your inadequacy, but rather an indication of your significance. People often fear what they cannot control or understand, and your potential, your vision, your very presence may challenge their comfort zones. Their efforts to hinder you are not about your weaknesses, they're about the strengths and possibilities you embody. Consider the story of Joseph from the Bible. His brothers' jealousy led them to sell him into slavery, intending to thwart his potential. However, their actions only propelled Joseph into his destiny, eventually leading him to a position of power in Egypt. Their fear of his potential did not diminish his significance. Instead, it highlighted it. Similarly, when people set traps or speak ill of you, they're often reacting to the threat they perceive in your potential. Their fear is a testament to the greatness they see within you, even if they don't acknowledge it openly. It's essential to recognize that their attempts to undermine you are not about your shortcomings, but about the strengths and opportunities you represent. In the words of Myles Munroe, the greatest tragedy in life is not death, but a life without purpose. Your potential, is what others fear because it challenges their own sense of purpose. Embrace the challenges and understand that opposition often signifies that you're on the right path. Your significance is not determined by others' perceptions, but by the inherent value and purpose you carry within. When you face opposition, remember that it is not a reflection of your inadequacy. Instead, it is a clear indication of your significance. People will go to great lengths to tear down what they cannot understand or control. They will resort to jealousy, manipulation, and deceit because they see the light of your purpose shining brightly. It threatens them. This fear of your potential is rooted in their own insecurities, and that's why they feel compelled to plot against you. Think about it. When you are significant, when you carry the weight of purpose in your life, you naturally become a target. Those who cannot see their own worth often lash out at those who do. They will attempt to diminish you, to undermine your efforts, and to sow seeds of doubt in your mind. But you must recognize this for what it is: a desperate attempt to distract you from your path and to make you second guess your calling. Their criticism, their attempts to belittle you, are not about you at all. They are projections of their own fear and inadequacy. When they attack your character or your abilities, they are only revealing their own weaknesses. You see, their efforts to bring you down stem from a deep-seated fear that they might never rise to their own potential. They fear you because you represent a possibility they have yet to embrace. You have to stand firm and understand that their attempts to undermine you are not indications of your failures, but testimonies to your greatness. It is essential to keep moving forward undeterred by their schemes, because every trap they set will ultimately backfire. Every pit they dig for you is a pit that they will eventually fall into themselves. Their actions will serve only to elevate you, to push you higher, and to draw you closer to the purpose that God has laid out for your life. When you walk in your truth and embrace your significance, you become a beacon of hope for others. You inspire those around you to recognize their own worth, to pursue their own purpose, and to step into the fullness of who they are meant to be. This is what they fear the most: not just your rise, but the awakening of others to their own potential as well. So don't be dismayed by their plots. Let them serve as confirmation that you are on the right track. Your journey will not only lead to your own elevation, but will also shine a light on the path for others to follow. Your significance is not defined by the opinions of others. It is rooted in the truth of who you are and the purpose you are called to fulfill. When people try to bring you down, they often operate from a place of fear and misunderstanding. They do not see the full scope of your potential, and that's where their error lies. You were not designed to fit in. You were created to stand out, to shine brightly, and to influence the world around you. In their quest to undermine you, they reveal their own weaknesses and limitations. They fear your greatness because it challenges their status quo. When you walk in your purpose and exhibit confidence, you are inadvertently shining a light on their inadequacies. They become uncomfortable in the presence of your potential. And so instead of encouraging you, they seek to diminish you, believing that if they can suppress your greatness, it will somehow elevate their own sense of self-worth. But here's the truth: their efforts will backfire. The more they try to pull you down, the higher you will rise. This is a divine principle that cannot be overturned. When you align yourself with God's purpose for your life, you become a force that cannot be easily contained. The pits they dig for you become the very tools of your elevation. They will stumble and fall into their own traps, blinded by their jealousy and fear. You must embrace your significance and the truth of your identity. Recognize that your calling is not just for you, it is for those around you who are watching and waiting for you to fulfill it. Every time you rise above their attempts to undermine you, you send a powerful message that purpose and destiny are stronger than jealousy and deceit. You show others that it is possible to overcome obstacles, to rise above negativity, and to walk in the fullness of their calling. Remember, your significance does not waver in the face of opposition, it is amplified. Let their fear fuel your fire. Let their attempts to bring you down become the very wind beneath your wings. You are not just a survivor, you are a conqueror, destined to achieve greatness in a world that desperately needs to see what is possible. So keep moving forward with unwavering faith, for those who oppose you will ultimately fall into their own pit while you rise to the heights of your destiny. When you walk in your purpose, fear loses its grip on your life. There's a divine strength that accompanies those who align themselves with God's plan. People may plot against you, they may scheme to undermine you, but they cannot deter you when you are anchored in your calling. It is this sense of purpose that empowers you to rise above their negativity, to transcend their limitations, and to achieve the extraordinary. Consider the story of David, a young shepherd boy who faced the mighty Goliath. The entire army of Israel trembled in fear, but David stepped forward with confidence, not because he underestimated Goliath, but because he understood the power of his purpose. He knew that he was chosen for something greater than himself. While others cowered in fear, he saw the opportunity to fulfill his destiny. This is the essence of walking in purpose, recognizing that you are equipped for the battles you face, that you have within you the strength to overcome every obstacle. People will fear your resolve, your determination, and the unwavering faith you possess. They know that when you are guided by purpose, you cannot easily be swayed by doubt or intimidation. They see your courage and feel threatened by it because it reminds them of their own fears and failures. This is why they will try to trap you, to pull you into their web of negativity, hoping to extinguish the light of your purpose. But their efforts will be in vain. You must remain focused on your journey, trusting that as you pursue your purpose, God is actively working on your behalf. The very things they set out to destroy you will be the things that elevate you. They will fall into their own pit because their actions cannot thwart the plans God has for your life. When you embrace your purpose, you become unstoppable. It is your faith, your resilience, and your commitment to your calling that will carry you through every challenge. Don't allow their fear to become your fear. Instead, let it serve as a catalyst for your growth. Each attempt they make to undermine you is an opportunity for you to demonstrate the power of your purpose. Remember, you are not just fighting against their plots, you are walking in the victory that has already been won for you. So stand firm and walk boldly in your purpose. You are a testament to the power of what it means to live intentionally and with conviction. The more you embrace your calling, the more you will shine, and the more their efforts to bring you down will result in their own downfall. Their fear of you is a reflection of their inability to recognize the greatness that exists in themselves. So keep moving forward, for you are destined to rise above every pit they dig, and in doing so, you will inspire others to step into their own purpose as well. When people plot against you, it often stems from their inability to understand the greatness that lies within you. Their fear manifests as jealousy, insecurity, and ultimately attempts to bring you down. But here's the reality: their schemes are nothing more than the reflections of their own limitations. They try to undermine you because they feel threatened by your potential. And in doing so, they reveal their own vulnerabilities. Every time they attempt to dig a pit for you, they are unwittingly digging their own grave. The energy they expend trying to sabotage your success is misplaced. They think that by tearing you down, they can elevate themselves, but the truth is that their efforts will backfire. When you are grounded in your purpose, when you stand firm in your identity, you become a target for their fears. They fear your ability to rise above their attempts to drag you down, and in their desperation, they expose their own weaknesses. Understand this: your journey is not about proving yourself to them, it is about living out the truth of who you are. Your existence alone challenges their insecurities. They can't fathom the strength the resilience, and the determination that fuels your progress. This is why they resort to plotting against you. They believe they can control the narrative of your life. But what they don't realize is that their schemes are powerless against the divine purpose that guides you. When you embody your purpose, you attract attention, both positive and negative. Those who are secure in themselves will celebrate your victories, while those who are threatened will attempt to pull you down. But know this, every attack against you is an opportunity for you to rise higher. They will fall into their own pit, not because you have done anything to them, but because their actions are contrary to the laws of success and abundance. You can't tear down one person's dream without affecting your own potential. Your journey is a testament to the truth that when you walk in your purpose, no weapon formed against you shall prosper. Your focus should be on your growth, your progress, and your calling. Let their fear be a reminder that you are on the right track, for you are a beacon of hope in a world that often tries to suppress greatness. Embrace the challenges they present. Use them as stepping stones to elevate you further along your path. Remember, they will not define your destiny. You are the architect of your future, and no pit they dig can derail your purpose. In the end, their fear will serve only to fortify your resolve, and as you continue to rise, they will find themselves trapped by their own schemes. Stand tall, walk boldly, and let your light shine brightly, for you are destined to achieve greatness despite their efforts to bring you down. When you are called to greatness, you must understand that your journey will not be without obstacles. Those who fear your potential often resort to manipulative tactics, attempting to create distractions and obstacles on your path. But let me remind you, these challenges are not designed to break you. They are intended to reveal the strength that lies within you. Your response to their actions will determine not only your success, but also the legacy you leave behind. You see, the traps they set are often reflections of their own insecurities. They believe that by undermining you, they can hold you back from your destiny. However, what they fail to recognize is that their actions are like throwing stones into a well. The ripples may spread, but ultimately they will fall right back upon them. When you stand firm in your purpose, their efforts to bring you down will only serve to elevate you further. Each attempt they make to hinder your progress is an opportunity for you to demonstrate your resilience and unwavering faith. This is your moment to shine. When you encounter adversity, respond with grace and determination. Show them that their efforts are futile. Let your actions speak louder than their words. As they try to dig pits for you, you will rise above, stepping gracefully over every obstacle they create. Think about the biblical figure Daniel, who faced the jealousy of his peers. They plotted against him, throwing him into the lion's den, believing they had finally silenced him. But what did God do? He shut the mouths of the lions, and Daniel emerged unharmed. His unwavering faith in God's purpose protected him. Instead of being destroyed, Daniel was elevated, and those who plotted against him faced the very consequences they intended for him. When you remain steadfast in your purpose, you become invincible. The very plots designed to bring you down will turn against those who crafted them. Their fears will consume them as they witness your rise. They will realize too late that their attempts to undermine you only amplified your strength. This is the truth. When you walk in alignment with your divine calling, you become a force of nature, unyielding and unstoppable. So don't let their actions discourage you. Instead, let them inspire you to rise higher. Embrace the journey, knowing that every setback is a setup for a comeback. You are destined for greatness, and every pit they dig will only serve as a stepping stone to your success. Trust in the process, for those who try to pull you down will find themselves trapped by their own schemes. Continue to walk boldly in your purpose and watch as the very forces of opposition become the catalyst for your triumph. When you step into your purpose, you become a beacon of light in a world often clouded by darkness. The very act of pursuing your calling challenges the complacency of those around you. People who are comfortable in their mediocrity will feel threatened by your ambition and determination. They know that your success illuminates their insecurities, and this fear often drives them to plot against you. But what they fail to understand is that their actions are the seeds of their own destruction. As you rise, they will attempt to drag you back into the shadows where they reside. They may spread rumors, create distractions, or even attempt to undermine your confidence. But remember, the light you carry is not meant to be hidden. It is meant to shine brightly for all to see. Their fear of your light is a reflection of their own struggles with self-worth and belief. They know that your success highlights their failures, and in their misguided attempts to dim your shine, they only amplify your brilliance. Think of the story of Joseph, sold into slavery by his own brothers who were threatened by his dreams and the favor he had with their father. They thought that by removing him from their lives, they could rid themselves of the competition. Yet what they failed to see was that God's hand was upon Joseph. Every pit they dug for him became a stepping stone to his ultimate purpose. Instead of being diminished by their actions, Joseph rose to prominence in Egypt, becoming second only to Pharaoh. Those who conspired against him ended up in need of his help, proving that their plans only served to elevate him further. In the same way, your journey will be filled with trials, but every challenge is a reminder of your strength. You possess the power to transform every negative experience into a platform for your growth. The energy they expend trying to undermine you will only serve to fortify your resolve. As they watch you rise, they will come to understand that their efforts are in vain. Their attempts to instill fear will become their own source of anxiety as they realize that they cannot control the path that you are destined to walk. So when faced with opposition, remember that you are equipped to overcome. Embrace your purpose with confidence and let your light shine even brighter. The very forces that seek to oppose you will end up becoming the instruments of your elevation. As you continue to walk in faith, your enemies will find themselves falling into the very pits they tried to create for you. Your victory is not just for you, it serves as a powerful testament to everyone around you. You will inspire others to recognize their own potential and encourage them to step into their purpose as well. You are a living example of what it means to walk in alignment with your divine calling, and in doing so, you will lead others to do the same. When you walk the path of purpose, it is essential to understand that your journey is a powerful testament to your faith. The challenges you face are not mere obstacles, they are divine opportunities designed to reveal the strength that God has placed within you. The more you pursue your calling, the more you will attract both admirers and detractors. And those who fear your potential will often resort to tactics meant to bring you down. But take heart, for their plots will only serve to elevate you. Consider this: every attempt they make to undermine your success will backfire, serving as a catalyst for your growth. When you stay true to your purpose, you radiate confidence and determination. This light, shining brightly, causes fear in those who are not yet willing to embrace their own potential. Your journey becomes a mirror reflecting their insecurities, and in their desperation to diminish your shine, they only illuminate your greatness. Look at the example of Nehemiah, who faced intense opposition while rebuilding the walls of Jerusalem. Despite the threats and mockery from those around him, Nehemiah remained focused on his mission. He understood that the walls represented not just physical protection, but the restoration of a community's identity and purpose. Those who opposed him sought to distract and discourage him, yet their efforts only galvanized his determination. He rose above their challenges, and in the end, he completed the walls in record time, proving that when you are committed to your purpose, nothing can stand in your way. Your resilience in the face of adversity will leave a lasting impact, not only on your life, but also on the lives of those who witness your journey. When you refuse to be deterred by the negativity and fear of others, you demonstrate the true essence of strength. Your response to their actions will speak volumes about your character. Instead of being shaken, stand firm. Your stability in the midst of chaos is a testament to the faith you carry. They may dig pits for you, but your foundation is built on a rock that cannot be moved. As you continue on your path, remember that every challenge is a stepping stone, an opportunity for growth. Embrace each moment, knowing that you are equipped to overcome. Your very presence challenges others to rise above their own limitations. Those who attempt to pull you down will ultimately find themselves ensnared by the very traps they set for you. Your elevation is not just a personal victory, it is a powerful example for others to follow. Walk boldly in your purpose and let your life be a beacon of hope for those around you. As you shine brighter, you will inspire others to step into their own greatness. The very pits they dig will become the foundations upon which you build your success. Continue to rise, for you are destined to overcome every challenge, and those who plot against you will only serve to propel you further along your journey. Your victory is inevitable. Trust in the process and remain steadfast in your purpose. As we conclude this journey of understanding, let us remember that every pit dug by those who seek to undermine us is a testament to the power of our purpose. Their attempts to bring us down will only serve to highlight our resilience and strength. We are not defined by their actions or their fears. We are defined by the unwavering commitment to our destiny. Embrace the challenges that come your way, for they are merely stepping stones leading to greater heights. Know that you are equipped with everything you need to rise above adversity. With each obstacle you overcome, you are not only proving them wrong, but also inspiring those around you to pursue their own paths with confidence and courage. Let your light shine brightly, illuminating the way for others as you journey towards your divine calling. Your success is not just for you, it is a beacon of hope for those who may feel trapped in their circumstances. Trust in your purpose and do not be swayed by the fear of others. Remember, they will fall into their own pit while you soar to new heights. Stand firm in your faith, for you are destined for greatness. As you continue to rise, know that every challenge is an opportunity for growth and every setback is a setup for a comeback. Let your life be a testimony of the unstoppable force that is your purpose. The world is waiting for you to shine, so go forth boldly, knowing that you are equipped to conquer all that stands in your way. The best is yet to come, and your victory is not just a possibility, it is your destiny. Ladies and gentlemen, today I want to speak to you about a force so profound, so transformative, that it holds the potential to shape our lives and the world around us. I am talking about the power of words. Words are not mere sounds or symbols. They are vessels of authority, carriers of destiny, and instruments of creation. From the dawn of time, words have played a pivotal role in shaping reality. When God spoke the world into existence, he did not use actions or symbols. He used words. Let there be light, and light appeared. This divine act demonstrates the intrinsic power that words hold. Consider how your words can build or break, uplift or destroy. The words you speak to yourself can either propel you towards greatness or anchor you in mediocrity. When you speak words of faith, hope, and encouragement, you align yourself with the divine potential that God has placed within you. But when you utter words of doubt, negativity, or despair, you hinder your own progress and limit your capacity to achieve greatness. Words are seeds. They can be planted in the fertile ground of your heart or the hearts of others. When you plant seeds of positivity, kindness, and encouragement, you cultivate a harvest of success, peace, and joy. Conversely, when you sow seeds of negativity, criticism, and malice, you reap a crop of discord, failure, and sorrow. Every spoken word has the power to influence the course of our lives. It can ignite passion, spark creativity, and initiate change. Think about the impact of a single encouraging word at a moment of despair or a compliment that lifts someone's spirit. Words can heal wounds and restore broken relationships. They can inspire movements and forge destinies. However, we must remember that with this great power comes great responsibility. Our words should be used with intentionality and care. We must strive to speak life into every situation and to every person we encounter. It is through the discipline of mindful speaking that we can harness the true potential of our words. Moreover, let us not forget that words are not just about what we say, but also about what we choose not to say. Sometimes the most powerful words are those left unspoken words of restraint, patience, and understanding. So I urge you to recognize the weight of your words. Speak with purpose and with the conviction that your words have the power to create, transform, and uplift. Align your speech with the divine truth and the vision that God has placed within you. Embrace the responsibility of your words and use them to build a legacy of positivity and empowerment. In conclusion, let us harness the power of words not just to change our own lives, but to inspire and elevate others. Let our speech be a reflection of the greatness that lies within us, and let us use it to bring light, hope, and transformation into the world. Words are not just a means of communication, but powerful vessels of authority. They possess the ability to shape our reality and influence the course of our lives in profound ways. This truth is evident from the very beginning of creation. When God spoke the universe into existence, he used words as the primary tool of creation. "Let there be light," and light emerged from the void. This act demonstrates that words are not mere sounds. They are carriers of divine power and intention. In our daily lives, the words we speak can construct or dismantle the world around us. They hold the power to create new opportunities, foster relationships, and build our character. When we speak with conviction and purpose, we align ourselves with the divine authority that God has bestowed upon us. Our words can articulate dreams, set goals, and bring visions into reality. They have the potential to bring about transformation, influence decisions, and impact others in ways we might not immediately see. This inherent power of words is both a gift and a responsibility. Just as God's words created light and life, our words can either bring light and positivity or darkness and negativity into our lives and the lives of others. By recognizing the authority that words carry, we understand the importance of choosing our words carefully and wisely. They are not simply expressions of thought, but powerful forces that shape the very fabric of our existence. The words we speak to ourselves hold immense power over our self-perception and potential. Our internal dialogue can either empower us or undermine our efforts. When we engage in positive self-talk, we affirm our capabilities, bolster our confidence, and align ourselves with our highest potential. This kind of affirming language fosters a mindset of success, encourages resilience, and aligns with the divine potential God has instilled within us. Conversely, negative self-talk can be incredibly limiting. When we repeatedly tell ourselves that we are not capable, worthy, or deserving, we create self-fulfilling prophecies that hinder our growth. These negative statements not only impact our self-esteem, but also influence our actions and decisions. We may find ourselves less likely to pursue opportunities, take risks, or strive for our goals if we believe we are destined for failure or inadequacy. The internal words we use also shape our emotional landscape. Speaking kindly to ourselves helps us navigate challenges with a sense of purpose and optimism, while harsh self-criticism can lead to self-doubt and discouragement. By consciously choosing words that affirm our value and potential, we cultivate a positive inner environment that supports our journey towards greatness. This practice of positive self-affirmation is not just about encouraging ourselves, but about aligning with the divine truth that God has given us the power to achieve and overcome. In summary, the words we speak to ourselves are a reflection of our inner beliefs and attitudes. By nurturing positive self-talk and rejecting negativity, we harness the power of words to propel us towards our goals and fulfill our divine potential. Words function as seeds that we plant in the hearts and minds of ourselves and others. Just as a seed has the potential to grow into a tree, the words we speak have the potential to develop into significant outcomes. When we use positive, encouraging, and affirming language, we are essentially sowing seeds that can lead to growth, success, and fulfillment. For instance, when you speak words of encouragement to someone, you are planting a seed of confidence and hope in their mind. This seed can inspire them to pursue their dreams, overcome challenges, and achieve their goals. Similarly, when you speak positively to yourself, you are nurturing a mindset of resilience and self-belief that can lead to personal growth and achievement. On the other hand, negative words act as destructive seeds. When we use harsh, critical, or discouraging language, we plant seeds of doubt, fear, and failure. These seeds can take root and grow into limiting beliefs, self-sabotage, and missed opportunities. The impact of negative words can be long-lasting, affecting not only the immediate situation, but also shaping future attitudes and behaviors. Understanding that words are seeds emphasizes the importance of being intentional with our language. We must choose our words carefully, knowing that they have the power to cultivate either positive or negative outcomes. By focusing on planting seeds of encouragement, kindness, and hope, we contribute to a more positive and supportive environment, both for ourselves and those around us. In essence, the seeds we plant with our words will eventually bear fruit. By consistently nurturing positive and constructive language, we create a fertile ground for growth and success, ensuring that the harvest we reap is one of abundance and positivity. Every spoken word carries the potential to significantly influence the direction of our lives. The impact of our words extends beyond mere communication. They have the power to shape our experiences, decisions, and interactions. Words can inspire action, provide comfort, and instill confidence, or they can create doubt, fear, and resistance. When we speak words of encouragement, we ignite the spark of motivation and possibility. For instance, a supportive comment during a challenging time can uplift someone's spirit, helping them to persevere and succeed. Similarly, when we express appreciation or gratitude, we strengthen relationships and foster a sense of connection and value. Conversely, words of criticism or negativity can have a profound detrimental effect. Harsh or discouraging words can demoralize individuals, leading them to question their abilities or worth. This can result in a decrease in their motivation and willingness to engage or take risks. The weight of such negative feedback can overshadow their potential, causing them to retreat from opportunities and diminish their growth. The influence of words is not limited to others. It also affects our own mindset and actions. Speaking positively about our goals and aspirations reinforces our commitment and determination. It helps to align our focus and energies towards achieving our objectives. On the other hand, if we express doubts or fears about our abilities, we risk creating self-fulfilling prophecies where our lack of confidence undermines our efforts. Understanding the power of words means recognizing their ability to mold our reality and outcomes. By choosing to speak words of encouragement, affirmation, and positivity, we actively shape a more optimistic and productive environment. Our language becomes a tool for influencing both our own path and the lives of those around us, making it essential to harness this power wisely and constructively. Words possess a remarkable ability to heal and restore. When used with compassion and empathy, they can mend emotional wounds and rebuild broken relationships. This healing power is evident in the way comforting and supportive words can provide solace during times of distress. A kind word can ease someone's pain, offer hope in moments of despair, and reassure them that they are not alone. The impact of such words can be profound, fostering emotional recovery and resilience. Words also have the power to inspire and galvanize movements. Throughout history, powerful speeches and written words have sparked social change, motivated collective action, and rallied people around causes greater than themselves. Consider the impact of Martin Luther King Jr.'s "The First Have a Dream" speech, which not only articulated a vision of racial equality, but also inspired a generation to take action toward that vision. Similarly, inspirational messages can drive individuals to pursue their passions, overcome obstacles, and achieve their dreams. Furthermore, words can play a pivotal role in transforming situations and influencing outcomes. An encouraging remark can shift someone's perspective, helping them see possibilities where they previously saw only barriers. Positive and constructive feedback can guide someone towards growth and improvement while affirming their potential and efforts. This transformative power of words can lead to personal development, enhance relationships, and foster a supportive community. In essence, the healing and transformative power of words underscore their significance in our lives. By choosing to speak with kindness, encouragement, and inspiration, we harness the ability to uplift and restore, creating positive change in ourselves and the world around us. Our words can be a source of comfort, motivation, and progress, reflecting the profound impact they have on shaping our reality and influencing those we interact with. With the profound power of words comes a great responsibility. This responsibility involves using our words thoughtfully and deliberately, recognizing their potential to create both positive and negative outcomes. The impact of our language extends far beyond the immediate moment. It can shape relationships, influence decisions, and even alter the course of our lives. Being mindful of how we use words means considering their effect on ourselves and others. When we speak, we should be aware of the tone, intent, and implications of our language. Words that are harsh, critical, or dismissive can harm relationships, sow discord, and create lasting emotional scars. On the other hand, words that are thoughtful, encouraging, and respectful can build trust, strengthen bonds, and foster a positive environment. This responsibility also extends to the words we choose for ourselves. Our internal dialogue should be nurturing and affirming, as negative self-talk can lead to self-doubt and hinder our potential. By speaking to ourselves with kindness and encouragement, we reinforce our self-worth and capabilities, which supports our personal growth and resilience. Furthermore, our words have the power to influence and inspire others. Leaders, mentors, and educators bear the responsibility of using their words to guide, support, and uplift those they interact with. The language we use in these roles can impact the confidence and motivation of those we seek to influence. Understanding the responsibility of our words also means being aware of their potential long-term effects. Words can resonate long after they are spoken, affecting how individuals feel about themselves and their circumstances. By choosing our words with care, we contribute to a positive and empowering environment, promoting growth and harmony. In conclusion, the power of words carries with it the responsibility to use language thoughtfully and constructively. Our words should be used to uplift, support, and encourage, fostering positive relationships and creating an environment where growth and understanding can flourish. Sometimes the most powerful words are those that are left unsaid. In moments of tension, conflict, or disagreement, choosing silence can be a deliberate and strategic choice that preserves harmony and allows for thoughtful reflection. Words spoken in haste or anger can escalate situations, create misunderstandings, and cause irreparable damage. By refraining from speaking in such moments, we avoid adding fuel to the fire and give ourselves the opportunity to respond more thoughtfully and constructively. Silence can also serve as a space for understanding and empathy. When we choose to listen rather than speak, we open ourselves up to truly hearing the perspectives and emotions of others. This active listening fosters deeper connections and allows for more meaningful communication. It demonstrates respect and consideration, showing that we value the other person's viewpoint and are willing to engage in a dialogue that seeks resolution rather than conflict. In personal interactions, words of restraint can be incredibly powerful. Choosing not to voice every thought or opinion can prevent unnecessary hurt and maintain the integrity of relationships. Sometimes the best way to support someone is through presence and understanding rather than through words. This form of silent support can be deeply comforting and affirming. Furthermore, silence allows time for introspection and self-regulation. In the heat of the moment, our emotions can cloud our judgment and lead to statements that we might later regret. By pausing and reflecting before responding, we ensure that our words are chosen with care and align with our true intentions. In summary, recognizing the power of unspoken words involves understanding when silence is more impactful than speech. It provides space for empathy, thoughtful response, and relationship preservation. By valuing silence in the right context, we enhance our communication and foster a more respectful and constructive environment. To speak with purpose means to align our words with the deeper truths and visions we hold for ourselves and others. Our speech should be a reflection of our values, goals, and the divine potential we believe in. When our words are intentional and purposeful, they become powerful tools for creating positive change and achieving our aspirations. Purposeful speaking involves more than just conveying information. It is about expressing our true intentions and beliefs with clarity and conviction. When we communicate with purpose, our words resonate with authenticity and align with our personal and spiritual goals. This alignment ensures that our speech contributes meaningfully to our interactions and endeavors. For instance, when setting goals or sharing our vision for the future, speaking with purpose helps to clearly articulate our objectives and inspire others to support our vision. By framing our words in a way that reflects our core values and ambitions, we make it easier for others to understand and engage with our goals. Moreover, purposeful speaking requires self-awareness. We must be mindful of the impact our words have on ourselves and those around us. This means choosing language that reinforces our intentions and supports our mission. When we speak with purpose, we avoid using words that are contrary to our beliefs or that undermine our objectives. Instead, we use language that reinforces our commitment and drives us closer to our desired outcomes. Purposeful speech also involves being deliberate about the messages we send in various contexts. Whether in personal conversations, professional settings, or public speaking, our words should consistently reflect our values and goals. This consistency helps to build trust and credibility as others see that our words are in harmony with our actions. In essence, speaking with purpose means using our words to reinforce our vision, align with our values, and drive meaningful action. By being intentional and mindful in our communication, we harness the true power of words to create positive outcomes and achieve our goals. Our words have the potential to build a lasting legacy, shaping not only our personal lives, but also the world we leave behind. The impact of our language extends beyond immediate interactions and can influence future generations. By choosing to speak words that are constructive, uplifting, and empowering, we contribute to a positive and enduring legacy. When we consistently use words of encouragement and support, we foster environments where individuals feel valued and inspired. This positive reinforcement can lead to lasting changes in attitudes, behaviors, and relationships. For example, words of affirmation and motivation can empower individuals to pursue their dreams, overcome obstacles, and achieve their full potential. This encouragement can ripple through their lives, impacting their families, communities, and beyond. Furthermore, the legacy we build through our words is reflected in the relationships and connections we cultivate. By consistently speaking with respect, kindness, and integrity, we create bonds that are strong and enduring. These relationships often leave a lasting impression on others, influencing their perspectives and interactions in positive ways. Our words also have the power to inspire and lead. Influential leaders, educators, and mentors use their words to shape the direction and ethos of their communities or organizations. Through impactful speeches, guidance, and communication, they leave behind a legacy of vision, values, and progress. Their words serve as a blueprint for future actions and decisions, guiding others towards shared goals and ideals. In essence, the legacy of our words is built on the positive impact we make through our communication. By speaking with purpose, empathy, and integrity, we contribute to a legacy that reflects our values and aspirations. This enduring influence can inspire, uplift, and guide others, ensuring that the impact of our words extends well beyond our own lifetime. Embracing the transformative power of our words involves recognizing their potential to effect significant change in both our own lives and the lives of others. Words are not just expressions of thought, they are dynamic forces that can influence our experiences and the environment around us. When we choose to speak words that are positive, constructive, and encouraging, we initiate a process of transformation. Positive language can shift our mindset, alter our perceptions, and inspire us to take actions that align with our goals. For instance, affirmations and motivational statements can help us overcome self-doubt, build confidence, and maintain a focus on our aspirations. This transformation is not immediate, but occurs gradually as our words reinforce our beliefs and drive our behaviors. Similarly, the transformative power of words extends to how we impact others. When we use language to uplift and encourage those around us, we contribute to their personal growth and success. Words of support and affirmation can boost someone's morale, provide clarity in times of confusion, and help them navigate challenges. By fostering an environment of positive communication, we enable others to realize their potential and achieve their goals. Moreover, our words have the capacity to affect change in broader contexts. In leadership roles, for example, words can inspire movements, drive social change, and galvanize collective action. Visionary statements and persuasive speeches have the ability to mobilize communities, shift societal norms, and create lasting impact. Understanding the transformative power of words also means acknowledging their role in shaping our relationships and interactions. Words that are thoughtful and intentional can bridge gaps, resolve conflicts, and build trust. This transformation in relationships can lead to stronger, more harmonious connections and a more supportive network. In summary, embracing the transformative power of words involves recognizing their potential to bring about positive change. By choosing our words carefully and using them to inspire, uplift, and guide, we harness their ability to effect transformation in our lives and the lives of those around us. This mindful approach to communication ensures that our words contribute meaningfully to our growth and the betterment of our communities. In conclusion, the power of words is an extraordinary force that shapes our reality and influences those around us in profound ways. Our words are not mere sounds, they are potent tools for creation, transformation, and healing. By speaking with intention, positivity, and purpose, we harness the ability to build, uplift, and inspire. Recognizing the responsibility that comes with this power, we can use our words to foster growth, strengthen relationships, and leave a lasting legacy of encouragement and empowerment. As we move forward, let us be mindful of the impact our words have and strive to use them in ways that reflect our highest values and aspirations. In doing so, we not only shape our own lives, but also contribute to a more positive and transformative world.